And James, we are live.
Excellent.
How you doing, mate? You all right?
Very good.
Good. Thank you very much for joining me on what is actually looking to become a nice sunny day.
Thanks for having me.
Mate, it's actually my pleasure.
It's my pleasure, like the shelter of not being out amongst the pollen.
Oh, really? Are you hay fever, man?
Like, literally, like, I picked up my kid from nursery on Wednesday, and I was getting all this stuff together and all that. And the woman at work, so I was like, "Are you okay?" like I'd just been like, like crying my eyes out. I was like, "It's hay fever."
Are you having a breakdown?
Yeah, like even now, like look, I'm welling up.
Oh, I know.
Really
I know
emotional.
these Sleep Masters podcasts can be a pretty emotional experience for some.
Trips down memory lane and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can see, and God knows what camera angle will be showing, so I'll just sort of give it a rough look. This is, man, so I bought, this is from Battle of the Breaks?
Battle of the Breaks, Enforcers 13?
Enforcers 13, indeed, on Reinforced, was this the first thing you did for them, or did you do your first EP?
I did the EP first, I think. Before that as well, I did a 12 under a different name with a friend of mine.
Mayhem?
No, I don't know who this Mayhem guy is on Discord.
Oh, really?
I
was looking at it, I was like, it just confused
like some
me.
hardcore or something. I should reach out to him and be like, you got that wrong. But
well, it's a sort of a community thing. I think you can just go and change it.
I can just do it like Wikipedia.
Yeah, I think so. If you set up an account, I don't know.
It sounds like a lot.
Hey, I don't run Discogs. I'm just here trying to have a chat.
Yeah, no, under Solar Motion.
Right, okay. I did not know that.
So we did that first. And then, yeah, like this and the EP were like sort of around the same time, I think.
Yes.
It's a long time ago.
This was the first thing of yours I ever heard. This is 2001.
Yep.
Yes. Which is your remix of Doc Scott's Here Come the Drums.
Yeah.
Whoo, mama. That was a dark record.
Yeah.
Man.
I haven't heard it in bloody years.
Well, I heard it just yesterday.
How old was I then?
How old are you now? Yeah.
No, people do. I think I was 18, 19.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
When it came out, so I was like 18 when I made it.
I remember listening to this in Electrodisc in Brighton. I don't know if you ever went there.
No.
It was a little record shop in the lanes.
Yeah.
Long since passed, sadly. And they're playing something like, oh yes, this young kid. Breakage.
All the stories, he's like 15 and from Ireland.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, they're so young these days, aren't they? Me, all worldly. I was about 16.
Yeah, I remember hearing lots of stories about myself.
Really?
Yeah, like my age was just continuously getting younger.
Yeah, that's not bad, is it?
I'm not that young. Look, well, looking back, I was a little nipper, but like.
So you're what, 21 now?
Yeah, about. We'll go with 21. And it got to a point where it was like, apparently I was 14. It's from like Germany or something.
Yeah, I definitely remember hearing stories like that.
Yeah.
That you were really like definitely under 16.
Yeah. I think it's just because I looked really young.
Right, yeah, that helps.
So
Yeah.
I was already younger, but I looked younger than I actually was.
He's just incredibly immature.
Yes.
He's really badly behaved. He's always running around, screaming,
breaking
crying. Yeah.
But yeah, that was a crazy time. I remember I didn't really understand how everything worked.
What, the music industry or making music?
In general, I just wasn't really sort of prepared to actually even have a career.
Right.
So I was just doing it for a laugh, and then ended up on Reinforced.
So how did you hook up with Reinforced?
I went to college with the other half of Solar Motion, which is how we met.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was friends with a guy in our college called Mikkel, who was releasing on Reinforced under the name Bug 9.
Right, yeah.
Which I found really weird because we went to South Thames College in Wandsworth, and he was pretty much from around Dollis Hill, sort of north. So he would commute, and I was like, do they not do music courses anywhere apart from Wandsworth? But obviously it was a good thing, and he was just like, oh, come down to my house one day, play some tunes. Yeah, cool. And then we got to whatever the stop before Dollis Hill is, and called him. He's like, oh, I'm at Reinforced. Just come down to the studio. We're like, yeah? Yeah, it's only one stop, right next to the station. So we got out. And before you know it, we're in like the studio with Mark Mack. And he's like, you got some tunes, yeah? I was like, yeah. He was literally like, yeah. Like, I couldn't really talk or anything.
Right.
He just said, nodding his head, and he's like, what's happening with this? I was like, I didn't even know what that sort of like thing
the
was.
Insinuation of that.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
I was like, oh. Yeah. By the end of it, signed of 12.
That's crazy.
Amazing. So then,
what format did you have that on when you took it in? Mini disc? Yes.
that's mastered off a mini disc.
Is it?
Yeah, all my early stuff is, because it's the only. I didn't have a CD writer at the time.
I mean, who could afford
I think
CD
with the
writer?
advance from either like my EP or the first 12, I actually bought a CD writer, and I remember it used to take about a good hour or something. It's insane.
Oh yeah, this the sort of endless. Well, for what, a CD-ROM one for the computer?
Yeah.
Yeah, and having it burn and take,
Yeah.
and then you put it in a thing and it wouldn't play.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay.
I've just wasted an hour of my life trying to like.
Oh, the CDs are about £1 as well for a while.
Yeah, you like buying a spindle was a luxury at
Yeah.
18, 19. I just used to sit there like, come on, work this time, please.
Yeah.
Please. And so everything just went on mini disc because it just seemed to make more sense. I didn't really
Yeah.
think about like, is the quality as good or anything else.
Yeah.
Just get it done.
Did you ever do the technique of turning up, well, going to record shops and asking to play them your tunes off mini disc?
Yeah, I used to work in a record shop down the road from my house. So
Oh,
I just
right.
used to go in there and just aux it.
Yeah.
Just be like,
Just force it on other people.
yeah, yeah. They had put up with a lot of crap because I'll just like every tune I'll just like go in there like play it with big speakers, yeah.
Yes, they could have put it on the big speakers.
Yeah.
Please, Dad.
Yeah, so like it would just be like, all right, well, go and buy me a pack of fags, and you can have a listen.
Really?
I'd punch a cigarette and just sit there and just go, yeah, all right, sounds cool. But I didn't understand about mixdowns or anything, so I was just like,
Well, it's also there
kinda
wasn't
pointless.
there wasn't the wealth of information
No,
easily accessible back then.
no, you couldn't. There was no YouTube or anything like that, so you either knew how to do it or you didn't.
Yeah.
And you either went to college and paid attention, or you went to college and pretty much slept through it because you've been up all night making tunes. And
Yeah.
I was the latter.
Hey, obviously something must have seeped in.
Yeah, you know what? It actually didn't up until years and years later when I started being like, oh, okay, right, I need to like really learn how to like use an EQ and how to use a compressor and all this other stuff. And then I was doing it all, and the more I understood about it, even now, like little nuggets come through, and I'm like, oh, that's what we were chatting about at that time. It's taken me years.
Yeah, it's also when things pop out and they're just like, oh, it's just that button there on the on it that
Makes
does
all
that.
the difference.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, right, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like it's so simple, like, simple stuff like that, and it's taken me years.
But
sort of-
your old reinforced bits in 2001 sound enormous still. Like, okay, so let's take PMT as an example. The amen in that is monstrous.
I can't even remember that one. It was that one where every single track had a name in it.
I think so, yeah.
I can't.
Was that on the Breakage
Yeah.
EP?
Yeah.
That-
You see what I did there?
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey.
well clever.
And as I saw on Discogs, someone said the numbers.
Yeah, it's a rotation. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
from a Peugeot advert.
Was
Sorry
it?
to like anyone who figured it out and thought, oh, he's went really deep. But it was a Peugeot billboard advert at the time, and it was everywhere, and it had all the numbers rotated to say the word number.
Right.
So, you know, it was like for a Peugeot 305.
So it's
whatever.
mirrored and upside down?
Yeah, like it's just different rotations.
Yeah.
So like you rotate like what was it? So the first two, and you rotate it so it goes like that, and it's an N, and when you do the other one, it's a U, and number 3 is an M. And
So anyone who's deeply confused by what we're talking about, go on to Discogs
2, 2, 3.
and look at Breakage's Numbers EP, and the last track is just a combination of numbers. and you'll see if you
And then-
rotate them
then
and mirror them,
it says
it spells numbers.
Yeah. But yeah, it wasn't that deep. I just took it off of an advert.
Oh god, there's so many things like that. That's like you speak to people. Like I've probably mentioned it on this before, but I spoke to Ben Ed Rush about the noise in Alien Girl. You know the
Yeah.
and how it's on The Simpsons as well.
It's a door closing. It's from old sample CD by
Yeah.
Persig.
So we were all like, "Oh, what? They sampled The Simpsons? That's crazy! Oh, wow!" And it's such a dark noise. And he was like, "No, it's just off some CD."
Yeah.
Like, no!
I remember, like, I listened to that CD the other day. Not that I sit down and listen to sample CDs, but I was
That's how you relax.
I was going through it, and I was like, "Bloody hell, this is mad." And you just go through it, and it's just like literally every sound effect from a tune, one after the other.
Yeah.
And you just sat down and just like, "Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah.
Just take all of them."
There's I won't say who it was on the thing, but there's a few tracks that I remember listening to, and then someone saying, "Hey, have a listen to this as well," and just putting a sample CD in. Even when they'd have like multiple sounds on the same track, and just go ding ding one after the other, and be like, "Oh, is it?"
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard a couple of old techno tunes the other day that I came across by one guy, and it changed a few people's careers. Let's be that way. Just sampling that,
Really?
like literally just being like, "Yeah, we'll just take all of it." And it's like,
Yeah. Well,
it's
someone else's
mad.
tune.
Yeah. So like, a couple of people just went out and sampled this, and it's like a whole thing's just just changed the world of jungle or drum bass or whatever forever. And it's like you just ripped off a techno guy. Mad.
Really?
There's a few of them.
Ooh.
There's a few. I'm not gonna mention. I'll tell you after.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
There's
this.
some really like, really really bad ones. So I'm like, I sit there and I worry, like, oh, I've done this. Is this right? Is it okay? Have I taken too much of something? Does it sound a bit too much like this obscure track that has nothing to do with what I'm making?
Mm.
And then you hear that, and you're like, "Oh, you just didn't care, did you?" You just did not care.
Right.
Like, there was not a single
No, just
care
have
in the
that.
world. It was just
Yeah.
like, yeah, just take it.
Yeah.
There is something to be said for that, though, because
What, direct theft?
yeah, just like, you know what, that works really well. I'm taking it.
Like, yeah, in a way. I mean, there are arguments sort of on
For and
either
against.
side,
Yeah.
aren't there?
Yeah. But I think it is quite funny when you look at that's how sort of like dance music was made.
Yeah, off the back of sampling.
Yeah, off the back of like just taking other people's stuff. And then now, like, you hear about people being like, "Oh, I heard they took a snare from a noisier tune." It's like, so it's a good snare, isn't it? It's not right snare. Like, essentially, like a lot of the stuff that you're not even knowingly using in a lot of tunes belong to someone else.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Just don't be a knob.
Yeah.
Don't just rip someone off. Like, I'd rather someone sample me than like totally rip a tune of mine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, just basically like copy it rather than just
yeah.
have a little nugget or
Yeah.
like, there's a clean bit of one of your, I don't know, drum loops or something, and
Yeah,
just
like take a clean bit of drum loop, but
all right, I will.
but then
I'll
but
go
then
through.
because like that drum loop isn't mine.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, that's it. Yeah, of course, it's a sample
essentially,
break.
it's a sampled break. So all I've done is do a bit of jigging and poking about.
Hey, but that's that jigging and poking about. That's that's how the sausage gets made. That's the jigging and the poking about that everyone wants. It's like we can all go and sample the Amen.
Yeah.
But it's, if you can get Dom and Roland's Amen.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say no, Dillinger's Amen. But I've heard
Yeah.
even Dillinger's Amen that everyone knows and loves is sampled from someone else.
Where does it all end up? Like originally, this is what we were talking before the show about the hierarchy of mixdowns.
Yeah.
Basically, where like everyone's like, oh, when I do my mixdowns, I have to stop listening to certain other people's tunes because it makes me feel bad about my own. Is there someone at the top of that hierarchy, and is it noisier?
Like we were saying before, I think it could be.
Yeah.
I think
Noisier aren't racking their brains going, I just wish I could get them to sound as good as sub focus or
But
like
you
what,
never,
I
you don't know. And that's
Or
the
Swire.
thing. It's like I was saying, like I look at like Noisier and like Break as well. Like how, especially Break because he uses breaks.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you get your breaks and your things to sit not even so nicely, but just so loud and still have that like real sense of dynamics without it being like overly squashed? And how do I get that? Because now mine sounds rubbish in comparison to yours. But he's probably sitting there hearing someone else's tunes, going like, how do I get it like that?
Yeah, maybe he's just A and Bing them with someone else.
Yeah, but
and
someone
go,
who I might not even be like, oh,
it could be cyclical, like it could sort of go round in a circle, and in fact, there's no one. It's not a hierarchy. It's a cooperative.
Yeah, it's a circle jerk.
That's the technical term, I believe. Yeah,
that's what it all is, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think I think it's good that people want to mix down as well as possible.
Yeah, I mean, it's become an arms race.
Yeah,
in a
and
sense.
that's the downside of it is that people, I think, are putting, like, are just being like, yeah, I could mix it really well, but you're still sometimes polishing a turd.
I'm trying to sprinkle glitter on it.
Yeah, and doing both. And you could, you can sprinkle loads of glitter and it can look really pretty, but it's still...
If there's no
shit.
if there's no actual soul in a
Yeah.
record and no creativity and no character to it, it doesn't matter how well it's mixed down.
Yeah, exactly. It's just at that point, it's just efficient.
Yeah.
But at the same time, on the other hand, and people can, I'm sure people will kill me for this. I don't see the point in purposely making tunes like they were made in 1996, in 2018. Yeah, see.
Well, I mean, that's that's not an opinion that people would necessarily expect you to hold. But then I don't know, but actually,
I like like the sounds from those tunes and all of that.
Yeah.
But essentially, and this is where like a fair few of my friends do not hold the same opinion as me. But and we've had many a conversation about it. But my thing is in 1996 or 97 or 98 or whenever it was before, like this, like we need to all be like six like amazing mix engineers. Were those guys like, was Photek sitting down listening to a tune from 20 years before being like, how do I get my mix to sound like that? No, he wanted it to sound as big and as powerful and as futuristic as possible. So how are you going to be as good as Photek or as good as Dillinger if you aren't still doing that same sort of like carrying the actual ethos of it, of like, how do I get this old stuff to sound new? Like, because essentially they're using breaks from 20 years before, they're using 808s from like old hip hop tunes or whatever, and all these samples that came before their time and amounted it to something that sounded new. And when you first heard those tunes, it sounded like the future. It didn't sound like something that was made 20 years ago. They weren't trying to, like, they were taking all the elements of it and thrusting it into a new place. So then when you hear, like, the original Eamon and then you hear Dillinger's Eamon, whether even if he did just rip it from someone else's tune or whatever
yeah, but he's
the
obviously,
story is, tinkered.
Yeah.
But it sounds it's unreal, like, the difference 20 years of mixing has done in that time. So then for it to be like, and it's another 20 years later, how do we make it sound like 20 years ago?
It's odd, isn't it? There's I bet you can really get into it with certain people about that.
Yeah, but like I understand, like that it's like, well, that was like my favourite point. And that's cool, like nostalgia.
But putting a modern
sick.
spin on it and
But
applying modern production techniques and being that's perfect, really, isn't it? I think
like you can still mix something down, but sits amongst the rest of now.
Yeah,
That has it's not the mix down that makes those tunes; it's the vibe
Yeah.
and the groove and the clout. It's not all based in the mix. Like having a really good mix down isn't going to ruin your tune. But saying that, like, having a really crap mix down if you still got a good tune, it's still good. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
it just means that when like someone plays it, and then they play another tune afterwards, your tune could get lost very quickly.
Yeah, that's it, and then people will not play it.
I won't play stuff if it's mixed really badly.
Yeah, it's like, well, I'm cranking the gain up, and it's still
there's
just
no
a bit.
Snap, and it's muddy, and it's like there's no definition in the tops. And then you play something else, and it's just like it just highlights how badly put together that tune before was. I just don't play them anymore. I'm just like, unless it's
if you think about it, it's
up to a certain. Like there's obviously like shades of But as a general thing, like if it's really that bad a mixdown, it's like I'm not gonna bother even if I like it, because it just makes a whole thing just fall apart.
I think with the like taking of old stuff, like if let's go and rinse loads of old sound modules or something, or like for all of that, and then get all the old breaks and be like, wow, now we've got these amazing ingredients. And now we've also got loads of amazing production techniques and amazing plugins to run them all through, and we know a lot more about how to make the video. Make some amazing stuff like that. But like, well, I've got it, and now I've run it all through an old Akai to get that 12-bit crunch. And it's like, okay. Well, it sounds old, but
now run it through a nice EQ.
Yeah, no, really. Now run it all through Sausage Fattener.
Yeah.
4 instances of it.
Yeah, all one after the other. It would sound it is that thing. It's like you can do all that stuff, but like I think like it could be the mix thing. Could be it could do with people sort of cutting back a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could like be processing individual elements to make them sound old, but then if you're not compromising on quality of mixdown, then I think you're in, but you don't want to go over the top, because like you don't want to be doing like EDM mixdowns on with old jungle elements where it's just like a brick wall of Radio 1 noise. Like, oh, cool, well, that sounds dreadful.
Yeah. You just got one pad playing and it's like... I've seen tunes like that recently and it's just unbelievable.
It's funny when you get promos and stuff and you look and it's like, oh, that's just a brick. And it's like, well, is this the promo service? Have they just not analysed the wave thing properly? Oh, no, it's just a brick.
I think that's where people on both sides, I think, struggle with like what they think counts as a good mixdown. A good mixdown to me doesn't necessarily mean it's just like...
No, it's clarity and dynamics.
It's actually got to sound good. It doesn't matter if it looks like a bloody big bit of static or not. It's got to sound good when you actually hear it with your ears, not see it laid out with your eyes. And I think people on the other side of the fence think like when you go like, oh, like it just needs to sound a bit more modern. That's what they think you're talking about, just having this big noisy thing. And it's like, no, it's not that. It's just like, like
there's no excuse for it.
Yeah, you've got all this stuff that we didn't know, not even didn't know existed before, but you can do really well. Like, like the amount of top end we can fit into something now, like, or like, like mid-side processing and all this stuff that didn't exist. Like, like just the way people use like saturation and compression and like side chaining and all of these amazing things that 20 years ago, if you said something, oh right, so what you can do is you can like compress this differently. And then the sides of it, you can actually do sides. What's that?
Well, it's just still something that takes me. It took me a long time to get my head round.
Yeah.
Like, you can eat, and then what? You can raise this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
You can change.
Oh, listen to that.
Yeah, it sounds huge.
Yeah.
it's it's like bloody 10, 15 years ago, all of my tunes were mono. I didn't know. I didn't even understand the difference really between mono and stereo. I just wanted to make tunes, and whatever. If it was a stereo source, it was a stereo source. If it was mono, it was mono. I didn't know to change it. I think there's a couple of tunes where I've got stereo sub bass, and it sounds really shockingly bad.
What
I just put literally. There's a tune. I'm not going to say which one. I put in parts reverb on the bass. It just goes all like stereo and out of phase. It sounds shocking.
Oh my god, that can't have been cut Was it like that
It
on
was
the
difficult.
vinyl?
Yeah. A lot of my stuff was difficult to cut.
I bet it was. There's some poor mastering engineer must have been absolutely pulling his hair out for that.
Yeah.
God,
Yeah,
and you want us to
pretty
cut it how loud?
Yeah. Even now, I don't really care about how loud.
No, it's only so it's like in the context of a DJ set. Like it's there's nothing more disappointing than playing one of your own tunes out live and it just like not cutting through in the way the last tune you just played was.
I hate that.
Or if you're doing a mix and like in Ableton, like I'm doing new for whatever.
Yeah.
And then putting yours in and realizing, I'm gonna drop the track before down by a couple of dB so mine doesn't sound all wimpy when it comes in.
It's got the automation just slowly.
Or actually, like, put someone else's tune in before and then just, like, schneid them by taking a few notches of an EQ out before. Like, that Memtrix tune doesn't sound up to much. Like,
you thought it sounded really good up until you heard it here.
Yeah, and then listen how good mine sounds afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there is nothing worse, I think, when I'm trying new stuff out and I'm getting all excited about playing my new tune and it just falls apart in the club. You're like, yeah, everyone, but you can't wait for this to come out.
Yeah, but then it also, it can be the monitor speakers. It can sound good out front, but then the monitors are just not cutting it. Yeah. Particularly if you've really got something low in there, you've got like a low F or low E or something in there. And the monitors just aren't hacking it, or the booth's in the wrong position of the club. That's what I like to try and console myself with. Anyway.
I had one the other day, and it was me and SP, and he'd heard the tune already. He was like, "Yeah, I love this tune." Sick. And I gave him a nod, like that. It's coming in there. Start bringing it in, and he's waiting, and it drops, and he's like, looks at me, he's like, "Where's the bass line?" I'm like, oh. Like, especially when, like, like people always like, "Oh, your bass is so loud. How do you do that?" And then you play
I'm
a
getting
tune,
round to that question.
and then you play a tune, and the bass line just doesn't exist because sometimes it just doesn't. But then I just had to sit there and stand there and like find another tune, and the whole time I'm like, "There's no bass line." Shit.
Oh God!
I better play something really good.
Yeah, I've had a few where I don't know. I guess there was just something, maybe there was something weird going on in the room or in my ears when I was making it, or something happened. It sounded really great. I thought it sounded great in the studio. There was a track that I played out. I was so excited to play it out when I was doing my first US tour.
Yeah.
And I open with it, and it drops, and there's just nothing there, and everyone looked baffled. I'm really baffled. It was just agonising, absolutely.
When I first got into the whole, like artificial stereo thing, I remember that causing problems. I remember it causing problems for a few people, but I've had a couple of incidences where I was like, "Where's this gone?"
Yeah. Oh, it's just cutting itself out when it's been like with a mono sound system or something.
Yeah. I remember because we became quite aware of it. And a remix, I'm not saying by who, not that it's the worst thing in the world, but they just got into the whole like artificial stereo thing. And we would always like mono tracks because it's just to be safe, because we've all been there.
Yeah.
Like literally there was nothing. Like you mono it was just like just little remnants of sounds. It was just like, mate. And it was to the point where it was like, you're going to have to take all of that off or think of a different way of doing it, because it's like the second this gets played on a sound system, there's not going to be anything left.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So it does happen. Because I get how it could have happened, especially then. Because people were just like, stereo sounds great. Like I can make it sound like really nice and place it. And then no one really thinks about the phase.
Yeah.
Especially less now, like things like correlation and all that. People don't really seem to care as much because the amount of stuff that actually comes out on vinyl.
It's in the minimal, isn't it?
Yeah. Unless you're like, the kind of nerd that sits there and goes like, "Oh, I wonder what would happen if I was to mono it." Like I do sometimes with
Yeah, but if you're still cutting stuff to vinyl, so it's
but like
you've
even
gotta
with
think
stuff
about
like like stuff I'm listening to, I always just check to see what other people are doing.
Oh,
Like,
really?
even like poppy stuff. I just like to know what's going on and
pop
like
stuff like is
see what the stereo
all
field's
sorts of-
saying, just to
yeah.
see like if there's something really cool
Yeah,
that I don't understand, or
Yeah.
like what have you done here?
I mean, almost certainly with the the really super pop stuff, they're doing stuff that's just on a whole nother level.
Yeah, it's very different. But man, I've heard some great pop records recently. Like I don't know if you'd call it pop, but that Janelle Monáe track, "Make Me Feel," is it "Way You Make Me Feel"?
I'm not sure I know that.
Listen to it, I was like, this actually sounds like someone's actually cared.
They're not just doing it by
you get
numbers.
this, like,
yeah.
sort of like, I find with like pop records, like they've got great chords and like it's all really thought out. And then when you get parts of a remix, a lot of the time, like you find out it's been recorded really badly.
Mm.
But then like the mix can be really cool. But then you listen and you just get this feeling of like, in terms of like what the producer or whoever has been involved up until it comes to the mix engineer is just sort of just like dashed a load of stuff in and was like, yeah, I'll do. And then I heard this one, I was like, this is so well thought out.
Really?
It's like, it's just a couple of sounds that every sound does its job, and there's not anything left where it's like, it's just cluttery. It's like, I've just got it right down to essentials, and each one just sounds great. It's like, I bet you didn't even have to do that much EQing because it just sounds so clear.
Right.
And I was like, this is what stuff should sound like.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? This is when I think of like a big pop tune. It's like that's how I want it to sound. I want it to sound like you want to hear where all this money that like from streaming or licensing or publishing or whatever. You want to hear someone putting in the effort to get that. Like, not
yeah,
just
that's
like,
the difference of someone who's actually really loving what they're making.
Yeah.
And not someone who's like, well, I guess if we get this bit in and that bit in, and then we write some lyrics about being in the club or, it being the weekend or something or other, then that's probably going to get a certain amount, a decent amount of play.
The one that gets on my nerves in hip-hop tunes especially, when, like you see these guys, and you know what, everyone uses a laptop or whatever, and I don't even care that most people love it, they're just like, I don't even know the notes on a keyboard. Who gives the monkeys? But you should look into a good time stretching algorithm. Because when they time stretch samples, it's just like, what? How have you?
Yeah.
Is it purposely this bad, or have you just not come across a decent algorithm yet? Do you just not want to pay for Serato pitch and time, or like use the nice algorithm on Ableton?
Yeah, the pro just
Yeah,
stick
you're
everything with the
just
pro
happy
one.
with that one.
Yeah.
You're just happy with okay.
I mean, I wonder what people are actually using for it to sound so bad. Like,
I don't know, because it literally just sounds. I think they just use like the Ableton warp markers and just leave it wherever it's set to, and just go like, oh yeah, we'll just move this around here, and it's in time. It's like, yeah, but can you not hear the difference between how it started and how you've made it?
Something that I've noticed a lot of in hip hop, recent hip hop, is vocals not quite being in time, like, which seems really, really strange. Even
It's kind of lazy, isn't it?
yeah, like
Yeah.
if that's like a deliberate trend of is
It
this
could
like a
be.
sort of lazy flow thing, like, but that's, I mean, you can. You should be able to rap in time. I think that
That should be one of the like.
Yeah. You've
had
got
to be a
one
rapper
job.
one.
Yeah.
Rap in time.
Yeah, you don't even have to write your own lyrics or
No,
anything,
no.
but being able to do them in time with the music, you would think would be quite high up the list of requirements. Apparently not.
No.
And then, secondly, like, someone can adjust that in post.
Yeah.
Like,
This is what I don't get, is the amount of stuff that I hear, and I'm like, this went through all of these people.
no, keep it loose.
Yeah, like.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
keep
listening
it
to
loose.
a Kanye album, and he managed to distort like vocals, and it's like, surely like the vocals are like the most important thing in a Kanye album. And there's a part where someone's singing, you can just hear like. I've noticed it with a lot of stuff. I don't know who masters it, but maybe they're pushing too loud. Maybe he He's like, I'm Kanye. I don't care about like headroom. I don't.
It could be a thing though. Like
Yeah.
all that sort of mumble rap. There's a load of stuff where it's all
Yeah.
distorted and like. Is that?
Yeah.
Is
I was
that-
listening to it. Was it Tekashi 6ix9ine? I
Oh
was just like,
Jesus! Yeah.
it's like it kind of sounds like it was just recorded into a laptop or something.
Mm.
But you know, essentially, I'm deep into my 30s. This isn't for me.
Yeah, well, maybe he's not spending money on studio equipment because he's too busy taking photos of his money.
Yeah.
And
Doesn't know to let go of it.
yeah, and actually pay for some studio
Yeah,
equipment,
yeah,
pay for some
yeah.
plugins. Like,
Yeah,
come on, guys.
Like just get a nice microphone. Like it's you know, ultimately, it's nothing for you to buy a nice
Yeah.
mic. Or just go to a studio with a nice mic and run it through like a really nice preamp.
Yeah, you
Get
would
a nice EQ on it.
you would think that might occur to people, but apparently
They
not.
don't care though, because
No.
essentially, you know, like a lot of the time, I think, especially with that kind of stuff, the intended demographic doesn't care.
Yeah, well, also let's not pretend that it's actually about the music as well.
No.
It's not. It's about the Instagram.
It's about how it looks and how
Yeah.
much money can be made.
Yeah, and yeah, it's about social media
Yeah.
figures and doing sort of ridiculous
Yeah, that's why you get a
PR stunts
Little
and stuff.
Xan, where he was like, and you know what? Everyone's entitled to opinion. Is that he's just like Tupac. It's like whether you like Tupac stuff or not. It's he didn't really seem to know much about that sort of stuff, because obviously it's a long time ago. But it's like, surely if you're that much about the music that you're making,
Mm.
you would go and check all of his stuff and actually know what sort of thing you're getting into. Like I wasn't around for, like, you know, when a lot of the tunes that I hold in high regard, I wasn't about. Like, I was off listening to Sepultura and stuff like that in my early teens.
Were you a metal boy then?
Yeah.
Really?
Zeppelin.
Very nice.
Yeah, like I was into like early rave stuff. I grew up in a small place called Buckingham in Buckinghamshire.
Mm-hmm.
So not that far from Milton Keynes, around the same sort of time when raves were just becoming legal, and my older foster brother would go to them, even though he was obviously too young. And when he moved in, first thing he started doing was putting up flyers everywhere. I was like, what's this? What are all these cool things? I was really into drawing and stuff, so I was like, these look amazing. All these like flyers by Pez and amazing artwork. And I was like, what's all this then? And then he lent me, like, I think it was like Fantasia 1 tape pack. I took it with me to school. I was like,
Who was on that?
blew my mind. I remember Rat Pack,
Yeah.
and I think the Prodigy did like a live PA or something.
Oh right.
I can't remember if it was Fantasia 1 or Fantasia. It was one of the early ones. I remember what it looked like. It had like a grid and like a red Fantasia face.
Yeah, seems about right.
And I remember just like listening to it. I was like, this is mental. This is like nothing I've heard
Mm.
ever. Like, and I was like, okay, I like it. Really like it. So I got into it, and then I hit about, still quite young, about 10.
So this was
And
before you were 10.
Yeah.
You were listening to Fantasia
yeah,
tape
yeah,
packs.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah, but it was like nothing
yeah,
you'd
like
ever
I
heard.
got like early, like really early into TCM for Criminal Minds, who were on White House, did a track called Baptized by Dub, and they were all friends
Yeah.
with my brother.
Oh right.
So like I was like, yeah, cool, rave music, sick. And then one day I just had this urge to check Guns N' Roses, new, and I saw the cover, and it was for Appetite.
Appetite for Destruction.
Yeah, and it was all them with the skulls. And
Yeah,
all that.
yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah, I'm getting this. Went to the library, got the cassette, listened to it. I was like, yeah, I really like this too, a lot. And then I just went down into this like rock tunnel of like Metallica and Slayer, and
Yeah.
all the good stuff.
Yeah. That's
And then when I ended up like playing guitar, going to performing arts school, was all into guitar music. And then someone played me, you know, like obviously like another tape pack, but it had jungle on it. I heard like, you know, like tunes like Terrorist and
yeah.
Lila and all the early V stuff and all that. I was just like, oh, this is like the other stuff I used to listen to, but it's faster and it's a bit different and it doesn't change every 10 seconds. There's I can actually tell the difference from one track to another.
Yeah.
And at that point, it was they had all the computers set up at school with like what were the little boxy Macs called? Mac Classic or whatever it was.
Oh, the ones before they were pretty colours.
Yeah, when it was like still black and white, and
Yeah.
it was like have a little floppy drive in front. It was just like a box. It was like almost like where
The
they
Apple
based.
Macintosh.
Yeah, it was just very
Yeah.
basic. They had those room full of those with little sound modules,
Mm-hmm.
and some guy in my class, in my music class, made a jungle tune on it, and I was like, "How'd you do that?" And his response is basically like, "You just like set the tempo really fast, and then you just like bang around on the drums."
Yeah, that's pretty much. That's
you just do it as a loop, and you just sort of just go for it. And then he's like, and then you just quantize it. I was like, I'm doing that then. And I was like, how'd you get a bass line? He's like, oh, you play the recorder note, like the recorder sound really low down.
Oh my god.
And I was like, cool, that's all I need to know. I had
done.
like helicopter sounds in it and all these like mental sounds. I'll just sit there day after day, like in my lunch break, not going to lunch and just sitting there on the computer, just. And then one of the engineers was like, "Have you ever heard of a sampler?" I was like, "No, what's that?" So it lets you take like tiny little snippets from other people's music, like you can use whatever you want, and you can just take it and you can put it into the tune. I was like, "No, I haven't seen that." But like, there's one in the actual main studio. It's meant to be for like sixth form and all that, but just see what happens. So they brought it in for me, plugged it all up, showed me quickly how it works. It was like some I can't remember what Akai it was. Probably like the 950.
Right.
And first thing I did was got out a tape pack, looked for Terrorist, and I just knew there was a clean bar of Yeoman on there. Because I'd already been going to my cousin's and he was using a tracker. So I already understood how sampling sort of worked by that, but by the time they actually let me use it and was like, okay, yeah, we've cleared it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I've been doing this for a few weeks already, so this is how this
Pretty
works.
much an expert.
Yeah, I pretty much know everything there's ever.
Pretty much sample god.
Yeah. And I did it, and then with the one thing I noticed is with this sampler, it's like there was only so much room. And with my cousin's PC, even though really basic, there was a lot more that I could do. And I sat there for like a day trying to figure out ways to get like more sounds, because all I had was the aim and drum beat from Terrorist from a tape pack with a crowd all over it. I was like, yeah, but I want this sound from this tune and this sound from that tune. And so what I started doing was like I'd sample it in, and then I'd take another tape the tape out that I was listening to, put a blank tape in, record, and play it really high up.
I was just going to say. yeah.
And then I'd erase what I'd done, and then, like just build them all up, and then, put them back in and pitch them back down. And I did it, and when the engineer came back after, he would always check in and see, what you up to, what you doing. And I showed him that. He was like, how'd you get all them? I was like, oh, what I did is this. No. It was really long-winded. Yeah. But I couldn't think of a better way. I'm sure someone out there has thought of a better way than this. But that was, to me, made the most sense. Yeah. And he was just like, wow. That's pretty clever, isn't it?
That's the sort of high-level creativity that you only get when you're starting.
Yeah.
Like, after a while, you just fall into habits and stuff.
I think now more than ever, because, even past that, when I got my own computer and I could sample loads, I was still limited by how powerful the computer was, which was not powerful at all, and how much room I had on the computer, which, I remember the first time someone said the word gigabyte, and I was like,
1,000 megabytes.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And now, like, you know, like I've got
A gig that's done in a day.
yeah, I've got a
more.
few terabytes
Yeah.
on my computer, and I'm like, wow, occasionally I'm like, this is mental. I can use as many channels as I like. I remember before I used to have like drums on one channel, bass, and I just used to have a channel where I just used to like run like a delay on it and just switch the audio channel onto that. Because I wasn't EQing anything, so, it's just so it just sounded fine. You know, just like whoop, bit delay on that. Yep, cool.
Yeah, there you go.
And then the rest of it goes back on the other channel, and just using audio files and just. But that was literally, it was like, I think back then I probably made a tune with like 8 channels.
Yeah.
I didn't need any more because I wouldn't have known what to do, because I knew like the way of like, okay, something and it was always like something interesting needs to happen. I didn't think about like you know, sound effects or anything like that. That was all alien to me. All I knew was like, I'll just do like something crazy with drums, and I'll put a delay on a snare drum, and that'll go all crazy, and then I can like slide into the next bit. It was all very, you know, DIY.
Yeah, that's the whole fun of but also at the time it doesn't feel DIY at the time.
No,
because
no.
that's what's available.
No, it was all I knew how to do, and it was fun figuring that sort of stuff out. I remember like sampling what I could off of other people's tunes, and then trying to remake it to figure out how they put something together.
Right. Okay.
So like fully deconstructing it, and then like being like, I wonder if I can find a sound that sounds a bit like this. How do I find a sound that sounds a bit like that? And I spent ages doing that, just like understanding how, maybe understand how arrangements work and things like that. Like occasionally still do it. Occasionally put someone else's tune in and be like, it's got a really good arrangement. Like, what have you done here? Like, how do these?
That's the best way to, you know, that seems to be like the most like asked question by people when they start out or they ask advice. I don't know what to do with my arrangements. Just put someone else's tune in and copy it.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
can you do that? You can do anything you want.
Yeah. Sometimes like I just start with the meaty part of it and just work my way back.
Yeah.
Just go like, right, how long can I play this? And when do I get bored? So I mean, that's where I'm gonna break it down, or that's where I'm gonna like introduce some more music to it, or take this away, or whatever. And you know, there's not a set rule, but I think now, like, I sort of do aim for the 4-minute mark or less if I can.
Try and make tunes that are under 4 minutes.
Yeah. I can't listen to a tune for like to repetitive music.
Yeah.
For like longer than that.
8 minutes. Come on,
like,
keep going.
Yeah, like I remember I used to make tunes that were like 12 minutes long, and wonder why no one wants to hear them all the way through. I think So Vain was like 8 minutes.
Yeah,
Who wants to listen? Like, okay, maybe actually my younger self would happily listen to, but I can't listen now to 8 minutes of something as big and loud and aggressive as an Amen for that long. My brain would actually just melt.
It's possible, yeah. I played So Vain on. I was doing a show of going through old tunes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw the snippet I put up of it on.
I did
on
yes,
Instagram.
Yeah.
But I say it does only have like 4 things in it.
Yeah.
Like,
it's got the
dubstep, vocal.
It's got
break
an
at the
amen,
beginning and an amen.
It's got think break. That's it.
And outrageous 808 sub.
And then the rest of it is just delays.
Yeah.
Loads of delay, just like massive delay washes. Where it's just like, man, keep it interesting. Oh, and it's got a couple of horn bits in there. So that's like, what, 6 sounds?
Yeah, so you could have made that on an old...
Yeah, but essentially, like, who needs 100 channels? Because, you know, like, you could have, like, 150 channels, and you could have, like, build up your snare drum over X amount of channels, and that's cool. That is, you know, like, some people love it. I haven't got the patience, or, like, even when I try and, like, layer stuff, I can just about get away with it. I don't understand what I'm picking from each individual tiny little micro sound to make the bigger picture. So maybe that's why I don't. That's where the disconnect is. But I was going really far down like the layer thing and like being like, oh yeah, we could add like a little tiny bit of this. And Artwork came round to drop off parts for a remix I was doing for a Magnetic Man tune. I was like, not many channels in it. He's like, don't need to be. I was like, yeah, cool. And then around the same time, I was like, yeah, I suppose so actually. And it might have been him or someone else. My memory's kind of foggy. It was essentially like, it was only 4 sounds in most bands, and they use the same sounds for a whole album.
Yeah.
So whenever you worry, I was worrying. Like I've made 2 tunes, some new batch of tunes recently, and I want to put them out. I was like, going to my mate, like, I don't know if I can put a tune out. Can I put a tune out and this tune and that tune sit side by side and they got the same break? And then I was like, you know what? Some bands use the same drum kit, guitar, bass, and essentially the same vocal all the way through.
Yeah.
For a whole hour. I think people last 2 like 3.5, 4 minute bursts of like the same breakbeat.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
They'll live.
Yeah. It's like anytime I'll start worrying that there's not enough like going on, I just think about it. It's like, you know what, like White Stripes, 2 people.
Jesus, yeah.
Even when they had additional stuff thrown in, there was probably only about 6 sounds in the tune.
Yeah.
Like to me, like my favourite band's Led Zeppelin. What do they have? Organ, guitar, bass, singer, drums.
No, like infinite automation on every single channel, everywhere. Like,
or just fuck it. Let's just. Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah. Hey, this is all right. We've written a good song, though. Yeah, we don't have 8 million channels on it, but we've written a good song. Yeah. So it's about it. Yeah,
there is a balance.
Fundamental elements of a track are sound.
Yeah,
and a well thought out, a well processed, a well put together, and work together as a cohesive unit. Yeah, you don't need it.
Yeah, because if you get the right combination of a decent sounding tune and it's actually a decent tune, it doesn't need a lot of tracks. If you look at like Royal Blood, sound great. 2 blokes.
Yeah.
And it sounds monstrous.
Yeah.
It's really I just find like they don't have like 4, 5 snare drums sitting on top of each other. Just like, how's that snare sound? Yeah, that sounds good. Right, let's record. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like, you ready? Yeah. Come on, man.
I just put a microphone in the middle of the room. It's fine.
Yeah. Like all the breakbeats that I like is just a lot of it's one microphone. Like you speak to like, not that I go around in my spare time speaking to drummers from the 60s and 70s, but the ones that I have spoke to, are just like, oh yeah, it's just set up. Just like, yeah, like do you no, just get a microphone over it.
Yeah.
No, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, we'd record like about 4 tunes a day. Is that? Oh, okay. Is that it? Yeah. Oh, cool.
All right then.
Yeah. Like no fanciness. Do you know what I mean?
God.
And then like you listen to like, I don't know about most people. Is that when I listen to like really nicely recorded drums, and they're like doing all like shuffly bits and all that. Yeah, it would kind of sound better though if it was just one fucking microphone hanging above the kit, probably. We spent all this time. We've spent like I did a session once before. And we spent ages miking up, and then I remember coming home and listening to it. I was like, "Yeah, it don't sound as good as the breakbeat that I sampled originally." Though, does it? It's like,
yeah, trying to actually make breaks like really breaks that will sound. I mean. What is it that's going on? That it's something about the sort of the spill between the hits.
Yeah, I wish I really knew. One thing that I find very nerdy but fun at the moment is like getting old breakbeats to sound as new and as clean as possible. To then like put like try and put as much grit but as controlled as possible back in, and you just realise, like, yeah, you guys did not care a fraction as much as someone does now. It's just like, get in there, play drums, silly bastard.
Yeah. yeah. Yeah.
It's, and that was it. And I noticed a lot of them, there's always like this, either it's lacking top end, or if it's got top end, it's lacking mids. It's always like really heavy on the kick, but then like either the top or like the mids are just gonna, like, you never get the full range. It's just like there's always this massive dip in like a breakbeat, which is essentially what makes it sound great. Probably what makes the Amon sound so good, because it is the most full frequency out of a lot of them.
Yeah.
I've been trying to figure that one out for years.
It's the ultimate mystery to solve.
Yeah. I know. Apparently, Boimerang, that's how he came across the Boimerang break, was trying to figure out how to make an Amon.
Really?
Yeah, allegedly, which is probably why it sounds so bloody good.
Yeah, I mean, as far as high end, like top end.
Yeah, you can't tell me he was trying to mix down like someone from 20 years before. When you hear that break still sounds great now.
Yeah, it really does.
Like, it sounds so, like, I wasn't there, like, I wasn't in a club the first time I heard it, but I imagine that's when people started getting scared.
Yeah.
Like, Future.
Yeah. I mean, that and Tekich is it the contamination break, or
Which one was that?
it's very busy, but quite sort of, it's
Was that when it got into that, like, full on, like, drumsy, like, boom,
yeah,
like very, like, all this, like, it was like a really, I remember his
skull step
breaks. Yeah, it had this kind of, like, when it got into that, it was like very, like, sounded very rim shotty, like you really got the ring off.
Yeah.
I remember being like, really tonal, but really cool.
Same with current value stuff like that. Underneath, the current value remix of Symptomless Coma by Donny, which got samples out of Jam, Chris Morris TV show. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
No.
Man, this is one of the darkest comedy sketch shows ever known to man.
I'll be sure to check it out.
Prepare yourself mentally for it. It's I feel like I couldn't put it on TV now, but it's like, it's all like rims, but like that sort of pots and pans down the stairs, sort of skull step kind of thing. That when all that stuff started coming out, like 2006-ish, I want to say, like, when it was all therapy sessions a lot, so Lime Wax, Panacea, SPL, Dylan, Tekich, obviously, all that sort of, it's the hard boys.
Yeah. It was a bit too hard for me personally. But
oh man, I was all over it.
I still understood it, because to me it was like
too hard for you. If you listen to that, Here Comes the Drum remix.
But like, like for me it was like, this is like a lot closer to metal.
Yeah.
Like, it's got this sort of thrashy sort of element to, which I appreciate, but I was kind of like, it's not why I listen to drum bass or jungle or electronic music.
Okay.
I'll like, I don't know why it's like, like, it's like when someone does like a, like goes a bit too. It just felt like there was that divide where it's like, it's its thing of its own. It doesn't, and that's not a bad thing. And I'm not saying like, I'll do. It just felt like it was very much its own particular. Like, it brought in its own fans. It kind of like, you had people that like both. It's that they definitely had its own strong following. Where it's like, this is all I listen to. Yeah.
Very much like in Europe. Like.
Yeah. Like, I think you're seeing it now with like people like Ivy Lab.
Right.
Where it's like, it is and it isn't. It's, like, you get people like who go to 2020 night. The people you see there, you probably aren't going to see at Spearhead night. Or most drum bass nights, because they don't really see it as drum bass. Yeah. And like, I don't even think the Ivy Lab guys see like the 2020 thing. I think they're saying it's like future beats or some name for it. But, and I'm like, yeah, cool. But like, there was this point where it was like, kind of like, okay. It was like, yep. it's like, and I feel like that, like what were you saying, like skull
step.
yeah,
But that started as like a derogatory term for it that then we all just sort of took on, like, okay, yeah, we're making skull step.
yeah, I think I don't mind the name. I think it sounds.
I like it.
It you know you're not going to go to a skull step night and hear, I don't know, like the newest caliber.
Well, yeah, no, certainly.
And like, you know what you're going to get when someone
Yeah,
goes, what do you listen to? Skull step?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, who's playing?
Cool.
Bong Ra and, you know, and Shit Mat and like.
Oh my God, I haven't heard Bong Ra and Shit Mat in a while. I remember.
Yeah.
That's.
Those,
Shit Mat still.
I think he was. I feel like he was making some sort of a comeback. I mean, he's a real character.
I've not met him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a.
He's a character.
Yeah, I don't like. He's a lovely guy, but like, I mean, I don't know how to. Yeah, he's a lunatic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that whole Wrong Music crew.
Yeah.
Are all bonkers.
Yeah, if you look at someone like Aphex Twin, absolutely doolally.
Yeah.
I've met him once. Scared the crap out of me.
Really?
Yeah. I met him at Coronet. He was listening to. He came down to a Valve night to listen to Randall play an old school set.
Really?
So like there was a bunch of us there, like all the like in perspective, like you know, you put a bunch of guys that like editing drums and like weird shit and weird experimentations with early like plugins and stuff like that. You put Aphex Twin in the same room, and you know, pretty much wet groin areas.
Yeah.
So I went up to him. I was like, "Hey, you're right." And he started talking. He was really friendly.
Hi,
and then he started saying how he lives near me and all this. I was like, "Oh, amazing." And then it got really like he just made sure it got progressively darker. And like it got to a point where he was basically saying he watches me, like from outside, looks into my bedroom window, and then just as I got to that point where I was like, "What the?" He was like, "You having a good night?" Just super calm, like, "You having a good night?" Yeah. And it was just like everyone who went up, there was something different, but he would just make sure like you're gonna feel much more uneasy than I do.
Yeah,
I don't want to talk to you, but if I'm going to talk to you, I'm going to make you wish you never came up to me.
Yeah. It does strike me as someone that might really enjoy courting awkwardness.
Yeah.
Deliberately.
I remember there was that interview where someone said, what's the thing that you've heard about you that's really stupid? And he's like, but I have a tank, or something like that. And then it was like...
He's got a tank?
Yeah, but then he literally, the next question, they go... What's one thing about you that no one ever believes? That I have a tank. It's like, you're just not giving anything away. You are actually mad, and I love that.
Yeah.
So I do love that kind of thing of like, yeah, I make music and I'm mental.
Yeah.
It's like, that's kind of how you want it to be.
Yeah. I got very. I only like got introduced to him, but literally only said, "Oh, hiya," and I didn't actually get to have a conversation with him. But a friend of mine put on a little festival down in Cornwall. Dave Gamble, who was on this podcast before, who makes amazing plugins. Him and Aphex are really good friends.
Dave DMG.
Yeah,
love his plugins.
Man,
unreal.
Yeah.
We'll get into it in a second. It's like literally my favourite plugins.
They're another level.
Yeah.
But we were at this little festival that he's putting on, and it was very dark, and a load of us sat in a circle, and Aphex just kept popping in to just talk normally with people, but there was the way the sort of light was that suddenly there was all darkness, and then suddenly the sort of leering face of Aphex Twin would just go into the circle. Like, it's really surreal.
Oh my god. Just have like weird sort of
come to daddy features going.
Amazing. Yeah, DMG plugins. Wow. They've just come along and changed my life, I think.
Really? Which ones in particular?
Equilibrium.
Yeah.
For starters. Like, I was really considering, and I'm not really the. I appreciate outboard gear, but I'm the kind of person where it's like I can't just go like, that's good, print. I
you've
just
ruined
can't-
that patch.
Yeah, I didn't actually touch it.
No,
But
joking.
you know, like I can't actually just do it and go, yeah, that's good enough. Yeah, that's fine. That says I want it because I know it could be like 3 hours, 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years. Whenever it's before it's finished,
Yeah.
I am not going to be happy
Yeah.
with what I've done. And so the whole, I remember I had like a few bits of outboard, and I bought a Voyager, and I ended up using nothing from it because it was just like, oh, make sound and spend ages. Yeah, that sounds great. And then I'd save it, and I'd just constantly it just drove me mad. So I ended up selling it to TB.
Really?
Yeah, because I couldn't just finalize something with it because I just always knew you could just go a little bit extra.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I just need to stick with the plugins. But
Yeah.
I was considering buying a hardware EQ because I was just
For the final bit, or just
for like boosting,
right?
because I always find like boosting with software, it just has this, and I hate. Obviously for certain things negative EQ, and it's like, you know, like when you're trying to like figure out everything negative, just so it doesn't sound terrible, because you don't want to boost on an EQ because you know it just has this like thinness to it, like automatically. It's like, or like when you boost bottom end, it just doesn't like do what you need it to do. It's just in comparison. I was like, I'm just gonna have to do it. I was looking at like, you know, a little 500 series.
Yeah.
Spending a lot of money.
Yeah, it takes you down a dark financial rabbit hole.
Yeah, I was like, I don't really want to do this again because I've done it before and I've got a lot of stuff I don't use. It's just in my storage. And then Equilibrium came out. And I was like, oh, is this as good as people are saying? So I didn't even like really check for it for a long time, up until like last year. And I demoed it before and I thought, yeah, this is really cool. But I was like, I always do this thing where it's like, I demoed something, it sounds really cool, I buy it, I never touch it. So maybe I'll just leave it. And got back on the EQ hunt, found a really nice EQ that does everything really well. And then Mark T-Power, who's also friends with Dave, was like, have you tried Equilibrium? I was like, yeah, I tried it a while ago, blah, blah. He's like, try it again now. I'm like, just try it again, like now that you've used it, and you know, like you probably have more of an understanding of how it works compared to a few years ago. I was like, I probably do. And like literally, like I was just like, within minutes, I was like, this is unreal. It's like a hardware unit, especially once I got rid of like the analyzer side of it and all that, and just got it down to like, you know, there's a bunch of like just knobs to twiddle.
Yeah.
So I could never say the word knobs and twiddle without laughing like a child. But once it's that, and you get rid of like looking at how the curves are working and all that, it just sounds unreal. Like, and all of a sudden I was like, right, I have to sit there being like, I'm gonna have to like put a high shelf and a low shelf, and I'm gonna have to drop them both down to make the mids more prominent without getting all these horrible artifacts. It's like, no, I can just boost the fuck out of mids now. And it sounds sick.
Yeah.
It actually sounds snappier because of this. I don't know what he's done, but it's unreal.
Yeah, he's like, well, I've done the maths and it's optimal.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say perfect, no one says perfect.
But like, even like, you know, like usually where it's like, people go, oh, you know, like it's got 3 different types and all this, and you listen to them, you're like, alright, okay, like, you know, like it's like the key gets wider, but it essentially sounds the fucking same as the one before that and one before that. I don't really hear the difference. With that, it's like you literally switch it from like the Oxford one to the GML, and you're just like, oh yeah, okay, right, this is different. Like, this actually sounds different. It's bringing in different properties. Amazing. That, and I really like the track compressor. Have you used that? So a streamlined version of a compressor. It's
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool for like, what's it like? Like New York compression. What was it? I don't think parallel compression.
Right. Okay.
Like I found that's really good. Like the 1176, I think it is. Like you can push that way too far, and most people say it sounds crap, but like fucking love the way it sounds. Like like just on like I like when I do parallel, and I don't mean that the compressor sounds crap. It sounds really good, but you get that thing of when you push it too far, it actually really sounds like you've pushed a compressor way too far. You don't get this like it's just really quiet and like.
Yeah.
You get a full like out of it. I just love doing that with it.
Yeah.
And the gate, surprisingly, I never thought I could enjoy a noise gate so much.
Yeah, no, I haven't used the gate.
My friend got me on the gate, and he's like, "You need to check this out," and it's just capable of. You get that same like when you use it as you do with equilibrium, and you're like, "But it's a fucking noise gate. It's the most boring."
Yeah, I'm really struggling to imagine
to understand how you can get excited.
Excited.
Yeah. It's hard to explain. You just got to use it,
and
you use it, and you just go like, "Yeah, this is all the noise gate I'm gonna need."
I'm not sure I've ever used a noise gate.
You will. You will. You really will. I find that noise gates.
What do you use them on?
I use them on all sorts, really. Like just like because. I would usually stray away from them because like using them on like drums or something, you lose that attack.
Yeah,
like, it just makes everyone go. Ooh, ooh.
Yeah,
this doesn't. So it still sounds snappy, but you can just like be like, and I'm just gonna fuck that off, and the precision to which you can fuck off all the bits that you don't want is unreal. It's just like it literally like if you can think of like how perfect would I want a noise gate to be, that's it.
Right.
Because it just saves that time of like going in and like editing the audio file and or like playing with like the attack and all of that. It just gets rid of all of that and you just put it on.
No faff.
And it's just no faff. And it's like that is exactly why I want a noise gate is because I don't want to piss about.
Yeah.
I just want to go. There you go. Put that on a vocal or put it on like a kick drum and lose all the crap that I don't want. And it does exactly that. I could go on for days about his plugins.
Have you used Limitless?
I need to watch a tutorial. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I still watch loads of YouTube tutorials on making music. Like I started yesterday, just because there's so much to keep up with now.
Yeah, totally.
And I've heard amazing results from Limitless. I just don't understand Limitless yet.
No, I don't understand it either. I was just going through presets on it the other day. I've only just got it because Dave was explaining how it works on the podcast.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'd started to sort of lose him a little bit at this point. That it looks into the future and it is able to process different things independently, peaks, and I'm almost certainly butchering what it does. Yeah. But anyway, it has a look ahead, but it will process different things differently in a very crazy algorithmic way. And I was just going through some of the presets and was just like, oh, Jesus, what? Like, there's just one that's called like Punchy and Bright or something.
Yeah.
Just put it on like, what?
How's it got so bright and punchy?
Literally, like, yeah. And I was comparing it to like the Fab Filter Pro L, and I'm in no way hating on that limiter. It's great.
No, I love Pro L, but
you can smash
it. When used right, Limitless will clean up.
Man,
but I just need to learn how to use it right.
Yeah. I mean, they are different. It's multi-band. Limitless is multi-band. Pro L.
But there's this whole side section on Limitless where it's got like the swell and all that, and that's the part I don't get. It's like a secondary limiter.
Yeah.
So it's like you got the main limiter that sort of does all the dynamic and like multi-band stuff, and then you got this other one where it's just like, and then you go just like bang, just add a couple more on there.
Yeah.
And I need to understand how the first bit works.
Yeah.
That's the part where I struggle.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, like when there's that many options, I'm like, am I doing it right?
Yeah.
There's so much going on. I'm not the most clever music guy in the world. Like, it took me years to understand compression.
Yeah. I think it's louder. Am I compressing?
Yeah. Like, for years, I just thought compression was making it louder.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people it just sort of is. But there's some, particularly before you start understanding the attack and release, which now you think like that's very simple. How could I not like understood this? But
I understood it, but I didn't really get it up until yet again YouTube.
yeah.
And someone did this like really short tutorial. I don't know who they were. I just watched it. I was like, okay, got on with my life. And when I actually tried it, I was like, oh my god. And it was, I've got like literally when I open up a compressor, I've set them all to like default to this. It's like fastest attack, fastest release, biggest ratio, and smashed all the way down on the threshold. So like, you literally do it, and the sound pretty much cuts out. You just background, and when he's like, you start off by doing your attack, and you just get like a little flutter from like transients and whatnot. And then he's like, and you move to your release, and it's sort of like you just want to like smooth it out a little bit, like get just like a bit more harmonious. Then you do your ratio,
right,
and then after that you do the threshold last. And it turns this big mystery that I was having of like compression into like, it's done in like a couple of minutes then. Yeah. So it's because you can hear,
changed.
like I find like if you like just go mess about, and then you're like, what's causing that? Is that the attack? And you move the attack, you're like, oh, is that the right have I done that right? Have I done that wrong? What about ratio? Maybe if I move the attack back. And I just find myself going in circles, like understanding what they all do, but not fully understanding
how they work together.
Yeah, how they work together, and like what the order of it is. And this guy's just figured out the order for me, or like in a way that I understand.
Yeah.
So I can hear what each bit does and brings to the table. And I was doing it when we were, me and this my mate Dean Barrett, who I do mix engineering with, and he used to. We used to mix my stuff together,
right?
And then I learned all the stuff he does. But then like I got a bit more confident with my mixes, and I was like, I can do it myself over the last couple of years. But when we were mixing the last album, I just came in like a couple of days after I learned it, and I was like, can I do a compression on the drum bus quickly? He's like, yeah, go for it. I was like, he had like the Smart C2 compressor, really nice compressor. I think it's one of those ones where it's like it's really nice, but I think people don't give it as much props as it deserves.
Right.
But anyway, so I just did it. He's there like, all right, okay. Threshold. He's like, yeah. And he's like, maybe just back that off a bit. Yeah, that's done. It was literally just like, oh, this fucking works. Like, this actually fucking works. For the first time, I understand what I'm doing with the compressor.
Yeah, well, I'm confident. As soon as we finish this, right, okay, let's
seriously, give it a go. I'd advise everyone to at least try it. Like, don't like, if you get good results already, don't like throw them out the window for it. But for someone that just struggled with compression for the longest, it's like.
So attack down, release down.
Yep.
Ratio all the way up.
Yep.
Threshold all the way
down. Yeah. I always minus whatever.
Yeah.
Some people might want to look, even though it's minus. I always look at it as down. Some people look at it as up. Like threshold up, but yeah, it makes more sense.
Yeah.
It's going from
but you're sort of increasing the
minus.
compression by turning.
Yeah, exactly.
Down.
So I understand why some people say turn it
Yeah.
up, but yeah, that's my top tip.
Wow.
Breakage
dropping knowledge.
That's like literally anytime anyone's like, oh, how do you do? It's like, this is the thing that you need to know.
Right.
Compression.
Will you sling it? So, all right, way back in 2001, or probably 2000 when you made that first EP, like what were your signal chains like then? Like, because the bottom end is ridiculous. Like it's like every note is really, because there's a lot of difference in the notes, and often some lose.
I don't think I used much. I didn't really know what I was doing, so it's hard to say.
Get out!
I just, you know, when people were like, "Oh, it's really loud. How did you get your bass so loud?" I was like, "I just fucking turned it up, geese."
Yeah, all right.
It's just actually too loud.
Yeah,
But it sounds, it sounded good
because there's hardly anything else going on in the track apart from a ridiculous amen. Yeah, you can if you just turn them both all the way as far as they'll go.
Just make them loud and don't care for gain staging.
Right.
Just fuck everything you know off, like including like just clip the master bus. All of that, and that's how you make your tune loud.
Yeah.
That's all I did. I didn't really think like, oh, this is distorting or like putting this thing on there is going to make it peak. I just, if it peaked, I just turned the fader down. I didn't actually turn the source down and do it responsibly.
No.
I didn't understand.
responsible.
Yeah, even when up until like less than a decade ago, I was still doing that shit.
Yeah, well, you could do that in FL Studio. I remember you could drive the master bus and it would sound good.
Really?
Yeah, hammer it into the red and it would sound all right.
Yeah, I just didn't even think that was a thing. So I'll just turn my master fader down.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really know what I was doing. I mean, I was releasing records like that.
Yeah.
But it never occurred to me, like, don't have your master go into the red. Yeah. Like that's why it's red. It's to say no, stop.
I think a lot of people didn't
smash it up.
I remember first person I saw who was really conscious of like, you know, like the volume, the overall thing on volume and like how the channels work and like making sure nothing like comes in. Too weak or too hot originally was Mark's System.
Right.
I remember hearing his stuff and I was just like, it sounds crazy. And they were working on something for Soundboy and Char was like, really interesting way of working. He's like, all of his channels are really quiet and this and the other. He's like, and you look at the master out and it's like, you know, loads of room. And he's like, but he's like, it affects the way that like all the plugins work and stuff like that. And like, I was like, let me go and check this out. And I listened to it, I was like, it sounds great. So I started looking at, you know, like you look at the audio bounces. I was like looking at all the individual channels. I was like, it's all really quiet. And I was like, cool, that's what I'm doing, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you went completely the other direction.
Yeah, I just went for like, right, so let's not like let anything go into the red full stop. Let me just try and then I was like, okay, that sounds a lot less brittle now, doesn't it? Sounds quite nice. Interesting. And when I went through this whole section, luckily nothing came out when I was trying to find my feet where I stopped using the standard Logic compressor. I was like, I need to use a big boy compressor now. Start going from wearing a nappy to actually going to the big boy's toilet. And I couldn't figure out like why everything sounded so weak, so all my drums were sounded like really just like tip, 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 tip. Even with the like, you know, like saving wheel compression technique. And it's because I didn't think of like clipping or anything like that. I just didn't think about it. I just didn't know that was a thing. And I looked on like all of the like Logic, presets, but I liked, and they all had clipping on. And I was like, so I need something to just come along and just mow those transients down, and that changed a lot. And it's, you know, it's just all these random bits that I've just like sort of like learnt from other people.
Do you use a transient shaper ever?
No.
There's a few good ones out there. Oh god,
there definitely is.
Off the top of my head,
I liked the. There was a Melder one that I really liked.
Yeah, there's an NI one as well, which is about as simple as it gets. The Native Instruments one.
But
Transient Master.
Yeah, that's the one that I standardly have in like my plugins. Transient foldery bit.
You've got a transient folder.
I'm like the super organised Logic.
Oh really?
Like, you know, like when you go to like, I set up my own custom little subdirectories and all that. Find it therapeutic.
I like to just really scatter stuff. Well, actually, in Ableton, you just have all your one.
Yeah, you have them all of them set out. Where like with Logic, you can set up like little folders, and just have the actual plugins that you use and
Yeah.
not the amount that you've bought and downloaded
Or
trial
the
versions
trial
of
versions
and-
of, yeah.
and
They're
like
just
free
endless
plugins.
things.
It's just like this, like, because if not, you got to go by manufacturing. You're like, who the fuck made Phase Mistress? And, you're like, oh. And then you're like, oh, or I could just go to modulation and choose it.
Mm.
Bang. And it's like, it made my life a lot quicker. So every now and again, I'll have a clear out and then just spend half an hour just organising.
Nice.
Yeah, very, very poncy. But that is always like the transient shaper that I go for. But
It's quite brutal.
I do find it's quite brutal, and I always find with transient stuff is I only ever want it to do like one sound out of a break, and I'm like, I don't want to like separate the channel and all this. So then what I end up doing is, because it's only ever like, oh, this kick, there's not much oomph behind it, so I'll just open it in an audio editor and just use amplitude or whatever.
Oh, right. Okay.
Rather than like, you know, like having like a separate channel to run one plugin. But only time when it gets to that is when like I've bounced everything out as audio stems, and I'm like, can I be bothered to go 2 files back to change the one thing? That's when I'm like,
so you won't like chop up a break and individually work each hit with its own no?
bugger that. No, I'll do like certain things, like, you know, like try and like get rid of all the muddiness when there's no kick, and like the bottom end when there's no kick to an extent. But I know that if I go like hit 1, hit 2, hit 3, I'll be there.
Yeah. Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes me long enough just to process a break as it is, because I just constantly question it.
Mm.
I've got this really weird way of working where I'll like process, and then I'll process again, but I cut it up.
What, export it, put it back in and process it again?
And then I'll put it into like a Rex file, and I'll put it into a tune, and then that's when I'll start changing the pitch, and then I'm like, right, I've got to do all this stuff again. It makes no sense. But it's just the way that I've started, this way that things have ended up with me. So now I just have to see it through, because it's just the way I work, and it probably takes me 3 times longer than everyone else. But
well,
like,
you know,
if it
sounds good in the end, you know.
yeah, hopefully it does.
Yeah,
better bloody do.
useless.
But sometimes
Got
it
you
is
on it for a
literally
laugh.
like, I'll sit there and I'll do it. Like, there's one tune that I was working on, I was like, I've just got to start all the breaks again. So let me find the original, let me take all the crackle out, let me do all this, let me do all that.
Really going hard.
Yeah, and then I'm going to recycle it, and then I'm going to pitch it up, and then I'm going to put it in time, and then I'm going to have to EQ it again, and I'm going to have to... And I was just like...
I had a...
2 days of my life gone. You know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
By the time you procrastinate and watch
dedication.
more
Yeah.
YouTube tutorials, and then like watch
Make
how
more
to cook
coffee.
the perfect steak,
Yeah.
and like make coffee, go down the shops,
Yeah.
spend half an hour on the phone to your mate, you know, call your missus, what you up to?
Why are you calling me?
Like, I'm at work,
What are you
James.
after?
What's up? Not much. Just gonna make a sandwich.
Yeah. What do you think
Work
about
going
for
well
dinner?
then. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go Sainsbury's in a bit, and I might just.
Yeah, I'm just finishing watching a tutorial. Definitely not watching Netflix.
Yeah.
I have to have like a film or something off on the corner of the screen. If not, I get really bored.
Really?
Yeah, I can't hold my attention long enough until like it gets to that point. There's one point in between where I'm like, right, everything off. Yeah, at night time, when it gets to
get
night
into the flow state at that
and
point.
that's when I'm like, I can just like fully go Matrix
Mm.
and just sit there ages, hours, just not speaking a word, not doing anything, not getting up, holding in, going to the toilet for no reason, because it's only going to take me like a minute.
Yeah, no, but don't want to break off. That's the
yeah. But it's like, let me just finish
it.
this one bit.
Yeah.
Let me just finish what. I'm getting close to peeing my pants. And
Adult
then you go,
nappies.
and then you come
this
back.
Is, come on.
Yeah, you know what? My kid, he just gets on with it.
Yeah, exactly. He's got the right idea.
Like, and you know, you see him, and it doesn't interrupt playtime.
No.
Like, maybe that's what I need.
Exactly. He's in the zone.
He's like really into it,
Yeah.
and you'll just be like, you just
You just
done a bit of business there.
yeah.
Like,
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what?
Yeah. Go change him. He's still got a bit of Lego in his hands.
Yeah.
He's like still well within play mode.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah.
God, they're simpler times, aren't they? Jesus.
But yeah, apart from that, I need something else to keep
Really?
me going. Yeah, because you know when it gets to processing and cutting up and this and that, it's like I just need to like look at something apart from WAV file, channel strip. I just need something else to just keep me going.
So it's the more visual
I
thing
think so.
than you have it on the same screen? Or have you got an enormous screen?
Just in the corner.
Or
I've got an iMac,
right.
but yeah, I'll just have
Yeah,
it.
I
I don't need
Yeah.
all that screen. Like
I used to have like a TV on mute.
yeah,
the
I'll do
background.
that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just sort of it's
but-
almost like company or
Yeah.
something. But I've also actually sometimes while making samples, we'll have a podcast on in the background, Joe Rogan or something, yabbering away about I don't know bow hunting or something. It's all weed.
Yeah, I just need something to just. I don't know.
Yeah, fill some sort of strange gap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's something where I think I can sit down for a long time every single day on the computer, and like I lived totally by myself for a while, and all it was just me, my cat, and Netflix down in the corner. Because it was like wake up, get on the computer. Oh, what's the time? Shit, I better have a shower and nip down to the shops and, you know, maybe eat something. And maybe buy a bottle of wine. And then make something quickly, eat, back in, and be there until like 4 a.m. So you need to hear something other than just like what you're working on.
Yeah.
It's like having a bit of dialogue going. Like with the podcast. I'm not trying to say, like, I didn't really care for like, you know, like, oh, I need like people around all the time. I just to hear something else apart from that, just like the same kick drum for 3 hours.
Well, yeah, everything loses context after a while.
Yeah, so I need something to just break up the sound a bit as well.
Yeah.
And visually just
like, that is an interesting.
What was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a couple of people like that. I think I don't know like whether it's like some kind of like ADD-ish type thing. Or
Maybe. I mean, there seems to be weirdly quite a lot of producers that either I would say have undiagnosed adult ADHD. I was never diagnosed as a kid, but my mum is absolutely certain that.
Yeah, my mum's always certain about something. She's her one is always she thinks I has she's always like, we were meant to test you to see if you had autism as a child and we just didn't. I was like, excellent. And I've heard a couple of people have said like maybe you should get tested for like Asperger's or whatever it is, like high functioning autism.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm like, yeah, but yeah, sometimes I'm like, yeah, maybe I should.
What exactly would be the point in that? Are you struggling with anything particularly in your life that you might?
I talk too much, but that's talk too much, and sometimes I could be a bit of a knob. But I think that's just being a knob. I don't think. That's
the two are probably linked, but they're just
consequences
of each other. Like
I always think it would be interesting. I checked the online. I've taken the online ones a few times, and they're like, oh yeah. But I'm like, yeah, but you know, anyone can tick a box and go like, oh yeah, I definitely feel this way. I definitely feel that way.
Yeah.
I don't think it's you know, essentially it's like, you know, you can find out tomorrow. Yeah, you got ADHD.
What difference is it going to make to anything?
What are you going to do? Start taking Ritalin, and
Adderall or something?
Yeah, like.
It's people there seems to be a big obsession with wanting to put a label on any type of behaviour.
But it isn't just. And like I you know, like on one hand, I think, you know, it is really cool that, you know, someone goes, you know what, I got bipolar. Cool.
Right.
Like that's really good. Like, and I think it is a really cool thing when like a musician or an actor or someone who has, even if it's a small platform, goes, look, I'm like this. There's nothing to be scared of.
Yeah.
That's wicked. But at the same time, I think essentially, like, it doesn't make you less normal. Like, you're still normal.
No.
Like,
yeah.
Because then, like, it just says, I don't know. You get this thing where it's like, then, so what is everyone then who doesn't have like some kind of mental problem or whatever, are they all just those guys that, you know, like work in the city,
work 9 to 5,
and have like, you know, like read GQ,
and go to the gym 3 times a week,
and like grow the perfect stubbly beard, you know, have a weekend look and like smart casual and you know, like, oh, are we gonna go check the new
not interesting people,
like basically
dull
like
people.
less interesting version of American Psycho.
Yeah.
Is that what a normal person is? Because if so, just bloody kill me now. Like, I can't think of anything more boring than that.
I think to be a prolific producer and DJ and everything that goes along with that, and actually to do well and actually to like, you know, become a success. I mean, obviously it depends how you define success, but I would say being able to earn a living, it would be a success. Be a nice line to draw there. Like, you've got to be a bit mad, like you got to be a bit mental. You got to spend so much time on your own perfecting stuff. I don't think it's mental.
I just think it's just different from the.
You got to be a bit different.
From what society says, man. Like,
society can't tell me what to do.
But
put me in a box.
It's just like not everyone's meant to be fucking same.
Yeah.
Like some people are really happy to like do, you know, like, oh, I'm gonna go and like no carbs for me this week.
No carbs before marbs.
I went to a burger place earlier and I ate like fucking big old greasy fucker. But then, like, you know, you ask those same people, like, hey, this is what's going to happen. Like, you're going to get on a plane, you're going to go meet a bunch of people you don't know. You're going to spend hours by yourself. You're then going to go to a club when you're actually really fucking tired. You're going
to 3 a.m.
You're still going to have a kind of good time. Like, don't kid yourself. You're going to have a few drinks. You're going to like play other people's music for like 2 hours long. And then you're going to go back to a hotel. You're going to probably lay there because you're just like amped up of like performing. But still really tired and like could really do with a nap. But then after that, what's going to happen is you're going to wake up in 2 hours.
Yeah,
and
go straight to the airport.
Go to the airport and you're going to get shouted at because you haven't put your laptop out of your bag. But you can't understand that because you don't speak the language because you're a stupid English guy that never bothered to take French or Spanish or German class or pay attention. Yeah. So then you're going to get shouted at and then you're going to go through the thing and then it's going to happen every weekend for years. Sometimes you're just going to do that for a long run, day after day after day. Plane, hotel, crap food, show, sleep for 2 hours, shower, out the door, back on a plane. You've got to be... It takes a certain type of person. I was going to say you got to be mad, but that would defeat the whole point of what I'm saying. I don't think it takes someone mad. I think it takes someone... It's just a different set of skills to someone else. You know?
Yeah, it's
different skill set. It
is. It's also I think this is a difficult way to say this. Is like it's a great job to have and it's an amazing thing to do. And I certainly wouldn't want to do anything other than it. But it's seen as being quite a very easy thing to do. Oh, well, you just got to get on a plane and go and play records for a couple of hours.
You know, when you're non-music mates, like, yeah, well, look how much money you get. You only do 1 hour.
Yeah.
Your job's only an hour long, so you got to bypass everything else and look at that.
Bypass the 15 years it took of making music to get
all
to
of
that point. Yeah.
Irrelevant.
Yeah.
Like, but the time that I spend like X amount of hours just sitting in front of the computer, like all of that, irrelevant. Yeah. Like the damage it has on my ears, irrelevant. Like, you know, the fact that if things are going really well, I can't even see you guys because you work Monday to Friday, and then like Friday I'm out the door and I won't come back until Sunday evening. Irrelevant. Yeah. Because all I'm doing is 1 hour.
It's only 1 hour, isn't it?
It's only an hour. You get paid loads for an hour.
Yeah, just for 1 hour.
Is that your hourly rate?
Yeah, wow.
Like, no, you know why? Because I don't do 40 of them in a week.
Yeah. It takes me, the commute is 15 hours. Yeah.
It's like, and it's never promised. Yeah. It's never promised. You can be doing 5 shows a week, and then 6 months later you can be down at the job centre. Yeah. You just don't know when it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like every single time I release a tune, I get really nervous. Like, this is one where everyone hates it, and then I'm just gonna have to just go back to working in a warehouse.
You're only as good as your last crap dubstep record.
Exactly.
So remember that.
Yeah, but it does take. I think it takes a certain person to deal with the like late nights.
The amount of time on your own.
Yeah, the solitude, and then the at points crippling anxiety of there's no backup plan. Why didn't I listen to my mum?
Pension?
Yeah.
I should really consider setting up a pension.
Yeah, life insurance. And then you know, like sometimes I have this envy of friends and like my missus and stuff, where it's like, oh, you just know like what's around the corner every time. Like you've got a job and that's secure, and you know how much you're getting paid, and you know that it's going to be enough, and you know that your job is going to pay you. You're not going to have to like chase someone.
Oh Jesus, yeah! Like you're not going to turn up to work one day and suddenly, oh, we didn't make any sales today.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Sorry, we're not going to be able to pay you. But you signed you have to pay the that's like it's not my fault.
Like
or is it sort of my fault? I don't know. This is a joint effort?
The amount of times I've actually done the work and we're like for like music stuff, and we're like, not using it, and then it's like, do I get paid for trying? Oh no, I don't. So because you changed your mind, even though what I did was sufficient.
What you asked for,
I still don't get paid for doing my job well. How does that work? Just wasted 3 days doing additional production for some pop tune or something, and then they go, we decided to go with like a different song now. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. So well, it's about 2 days of creative work. So total that up is.
But even when you know it's a job well done, like just invoicing and it going through the whole thing is just so long-winded.
When I grow up, I want to be a accounts lady at a major record label because they're always on holiday.
Just need to clear it with
that's
they're
always on holiday.
When you're waiting for someone else.
What a life!
Like, I need to clear it with the person that emailed me to tell you to pay me.
Yeah.
Like, what? Why can't I just get my money? You've got loads of it. I have none of it. It's just like stuff like that. Like, they get paid same time every month. I have to chase it. Like, I feel like like it's mad. Yeah. And then when you get it, you're like, okay, cool. Now, how long does this have to last me? Who knows when the next person might decide that I can actually get my money now.
When Jungle owes you money.
Yeah. That's and then, nothing against promoters. That's why now most DJs don't do the I'll get paid on the night. Because we know we're not going to get paid.
Agency,
we still have bills to pay.
Or
it doesn't matter if you've got a really high fee if no one actually bothers to pay it.
Yeah.
Because, you could be the most busy DJ or whatever, doing live performances or whatever the fuck you do, and go like, oh, my fee is X man. But if no one actually pays it, the person where you're going like, oh, sorry, don't know what to tell you, haven't quite got money yet, but we'll keep in touch. Like, that person now can't pay their bills because you're the fourth person to do that this month. So it's
and in particular
sort of
countries, mentioning no names, Russia.
It's I don't know. It's all a bit mad, and then you get something like Spotify where they pay you fractions.
So did you see the thing TC posted the other day? It was like a tweet from someone else who's like, oh, if you've got a mate who's a producer, when you go to bed, find one of their tunes on Spotify and put it on mute on repeat. And I was like, oh, that'll make about 50p. And he's like, well, actually, it's if you can get enough. And I was thinking, if you made, I think the amount of time that it takes to register as a one play is 30 seconds.
Yep.
So I'm going to make an EP of 30-second long tracks. And then we get everyone just cycling around. Maybe we'll be able to make £3 a day out of it.
Or you get one of those things. What are those little woodpecker things go?
Like in a Simpsons,
you just set it up
it's just
over
working.
the rewind button, and then you just make one that does it every 35 seconds.
Yeah.
Play it back. All those 35 seconds over you're a musician, so 4 hours sleep will really add up. One thing I was looking at and was how now that I sort of I wouldn't really call it a label, that I run, but like now, but I
index.
own everything. It's like my own thing that I have. I can really look into like how everything gets broken down and all that.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, like the physical side and the digital side is about equal. And then sales obviously outdo streaming, but not by much. But then you look at how much money you get streaming from Spotify, who's the biggest company, to loads of people say Tidal.
Right.
Vastly different. Like I didn't really understand why Tidal was a thing.
Right.
I just thought it was like, look at all you millionaires standing on a stage next to each other looking awkward.
Yeah.
One with Donna straddles a table, very awkward.
Yeah.
You got Dead Mouse with his mouse head on, looking like, why am I standing next to Kanye West? And like it's all like, okay, like, so you the artists, you poor you guys who are worth well over $1 billion between the lot of you on the stage. You're saying you want more money. And like I looked at it like the kind of like the trickle down economics thing. Yeah, no, like you actually just get more money on Tidal.
Right.
Like there's a calculator that you can go to, and you put in the amount of streams you got, and it will tell you how much that is made on Spotify, Apple Music, and Tidal. And I think there's a couple others, but who cares? And Spotify being the biggest pays the least.
Yeah.
Apple Music pays a bit more, and Tidal being the weakest to perform on subscribers pays the most.
Really?
With less subscribers.
So do you have to
like
get stuff
ridiculous.
on Tidal? Do you need?
No, I think it's already on there.
It has to be exclusive.
I think it's
really?
already on there.
I've never used it.
I think that Jay-Z doing the exclusive thing was just to try and draw people in. And
right.
Rihanna and people like that, just being like, look, if you want to listen to my stuff, doing it on Spotify is not helping me.
Yeah.
Now,
so I got private jets to get. Come on.
Yeah. But I think it's more than that. It's like, does Jay-Z or Rihanna or those people need to do it? No, but I think it was badly presented. But I think that the thing is like, this is if you actually like music and you actually care about people making music and you want people to make music as a job. Listen to it on this, and then that way they can keep the electricity on to turn on their computer to make the music that you like to hear, rather than paying a tenner, and that means that the company that just flings the tunes up gets a nice big office in New York with pool tables and like a really cool laid back atmosphere. Meanwhile, like was it like I can't even remember how much it was. It's like you need a ridiculous amount of streams to make like
enough to pay rent.
Yeah, like just to pay rent, like it's
millions.
You need. I think it's like to pay your rent. I will look it up afterwards and say it's like hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of listens.
Yeah.
To
Every
pay
month.
your rent.
Yeah.
Like it's preposterous. And then you look on Tidal and it's like tens of thousands, and I could probably buy a bag of chips as well. Sick. I think Tidal is definitely like in terms of like this grey area. That is
interesting.
Streaming.
Yeah.
But I'm also quite intrigued by Bandcamp.
Yeah. So I noticed you got a Bandcamp for.
I did it really late in the day.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't have any tunes out, so I've not really seen the power of it yet.
Yeah.
Because I did it. I was like, this is a bit crap.
But people seem to like buying through Bandcamp.
I think like it's the same sort of people where it's like you'd probably prefer. Because essentially, if you're paying the money, you want the artist to get the money.
Exactly. That's
like I think Spotify has its advantages. It's got definitely it's got a massive catalogue, and I think in terms of like someone where it's like I'm gonna listen while I'm at the gym, or I'm gonna listen on my commute to work, and the Spotify algorithm's gonna tell me what else I like when I put in the tune that I do like. Simple. Yeah. I can Shazam the song that I hear in the shop, and I can play it straight from Spotify, and then when that song finishes, it will give me another song what other people seem to like when they listen to that song. I think that's good for that. If for like people where it's like I like music, like, you know, like, but I, you know, like, who really has got the time and money nowadays to go out and buy every album they want to listen to?
Well, yeah, and also, like, it's unless you're buying stuff on iTunes, it's really difficult actually to listen to the music that you've bought, because, like, I don't even think I can get music onto my phone without
going into iTunes.
Well, yeah, but like weirdly rejigging something which will mess up the music I've already got in there that I bought.
I just don't mess with it.
No, yeah, nor do I. So I just listen to stuff on Spotify.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I went and bought your release off Bandcamp as nice WAVs to listen to, how am I going to listen to it apart from just playing it through my computer speakers?
Apparently Tidal does better quality.
Yeah, so this is what I heard. Yeah. That's like their thing.
It's just like,
yeah,
you know, but you still get people, even with Spotify, going, like, I don't want to pay £10 a month. So, you know, I don't, because, like, essentially I don't really listen to that much stuff. I don't listen to that much music when I'm not making music because, you know, it's just tiring.
Well, yeah, the sort of ear fatigue.
Yeah, and I find it hard to just enjoy it without picking it apart and being like, what have you done there? Oh, that sample's from that record from like 1977.
Yeah.
What's it called again? Let me go find that. And then you go off and, you know, like, I'll just go off on all these tangents, or like, oh, that sounds a bit rubbish, doesn't it? Like, I can hear where you've left the clicking from, like, where you've looped it over. Do you know, like, all these little things.
Yeah.
Like, I can't enjoy it. So, but if I was to join a streaming platform, I sound like I fucking work for Tidal.
Yeah, some Tidal shill, aren't
I was
you?
actually standing in between Madonna and Kanye.
Did you not see me? Yeah. You had your black hood up and it was that.
No one could ever know. No, but, you know, I think there's room for both of them. But I think, you know, if it is that thing where you care about the artist, Bandcamp, or just actually buying it. But I definitely get why someone doesn't want to buy like 4 albums a week when you can just pay like a tenner for a month. Yeah. Like, I get that. Do you know what I mean? I just wish that Spotify would actually be a bit more fair.
Yeah. I know, that's a shame,
like, it's I do find it interesting though, like how it's made people, I think you have to sort of it's changed a lot, you know. It's the way to make money from music has changed because of it. It's you know, some people make less money, some people I'm sure make more money. You know, I think being internet savvy doesn't hurt. Yeah. Something that I struggle with the whole, like,
trying to keep up with it all is tricky, like, and make music and do gigs and do everything.
Have a life.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, I see people posting constantly on Instagram. Like, every day there's like 4 or 5 things. And like, you look and you're like, how do you work? Yeah. And like, how do you? It blows my. How do you find interesting stuff all the time?
It's like a whole nother creative world.
Yeah.
Just to do the social media.
Yeah. It's like, are you doing this to get more followers, to look bigger, to be like, look at me, I'm a guy with lots of followers, book me?
Yeah, I guess.
Is it like, you know, like, because one thing that I do notice is, like, I'm lucky in the fact that if I have a music post, sometimes it doesn't crash and burn. And I'm aware a lot of people don't have that, but it just seems to be the thing. It's like, so am I gonna post on all of these constantly just to prove that I still exist, or that I'm popular to get more popular? But I don't really see the point, because if I do all of that, are any of you gonna buy my record? Probably don't even care that it's available on Bandcamp and iTunes and Spotify and Tidal, like, but, you know, post a picture of my kid, double tap. That's great.
200
and
likes.
Like that part I don't really understand. Like, I understand that, you know, you have to promote, and that is a good way of promoting stuff. But I think, like, does all the other stuff that you do, does that then equal a benefit somewhere else with your actual career, and not just having lots of followers? Or does having lots of followers actually, like, is it an enticement for promoters? I know some
I think
promoters it is.
Yeah.
But does that, you know, like, essentially, if you've got a lot of followers, you could have a really big following in Taiwan.
Yeah.
Does that matter when you're playing in Huddersfield?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. And you know, like, I find that the I don't know. It's just, I just find it all really strange.
It's trying to isolate what are the actual bits that really make the difference in terms of pushing a career onwards and getting more people to listen to records and things. Like, are you fully back on just on drum and bass now?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I've learnt to. I remember I had a bit of a moment a few years ago at a festival, and I was playing. What festival was it? Audio River in Poland with D-Bridge and London Electricity. I was listening to D-Bridge and I was like, this is sick. I got off, I was like, yeah, right, okay, I'm not going to play any other stuff, I'm just going to... And I played, like, pretty much fully 170. I think I played hard, a couple of other tunes apart from that. And I was like, that was a lot of fun. And I was like, and even when, you know, like, I wasn't making as much, I was still making stuff. People always go, oh, well, you just stopped. I was like, I didn't just stop, but I didn't really put much out.
Yeah.
And but if I had a night off and I wanted to go out, I'd go to a drum bass night.
Yeah.
And then people go, what are you doing here? It's like, having a night out.
I haven't stopped liking drum and bass.
Yeah, I haven't stopped liking it. I just make less of it than I did. And then after this thing, I was just by myself in this hotel, and, like, there's, like, you know, like, loads of people sort of partying or whatever at the hotel. This was the last day of the festival. I can't remember how it started out, but by the end of it, I was just off on this massive Twitter rant, just amusing myself. Not like anyone actually ever cares when that sort of stuff happens. People just go, oh dear, it's not going to end well for him. But it got to a point where I was just like, fuck it. And I literally just wrote, fuck it, I'm making jungle again. I just had a few more drinks. So drunkenly got into bed, woke up the next morning, I was like, I'm going to stand by that. And then I just started making jungle.
So were you not happy with how the other stuff was going? Because that last album, it was quite a mixed
It was
mixed,
yeah, because I get bored very quickly.
Yeah.
I find it hard to, like, I've got so many...
That's the ADHD, you know. And
I really wanted to get across, like, I can do more than make, like, a dubstep tune or a drum bass tune. Like, there's other stuff that I like and enjoy. And why not just give it a go?
That's what an album's for, though, really, isn't it?
Just let me experiment a bit. Yeah. And they all still, to me, they all still sound like my tunes. They're just at different tempos. Like, why should a tempo dictate anything about what kind of music you like? Like, I don't think there's a genre of music that I like or don't like. More importantly, where I'm like, I don't like the tempo, therefore.
Why is there nothing at 150? There's
I don't know.
no music.
I feel like people always try it, so they always go through the same thing, which is like old school sounding jungle.
Yeah.
So it's, but yeah, I don't know. But even with, you know, like, I get why there's a tempo bracket on dance music, DJs, etc. But some people, you know, like, you go, what do you reckon of this? It's too slow. But, like, surely, like, if you listen to a band, they might do a fast tune, they might do a slow tune. It's the same band, and it's more just the style and, like, the overall sound of the band that you like. You don't like the fact that they play at a tempo that suits your head nod.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just got into this thing of like, I'm just gonna make jungle. Well, I'm just gonna take it right back to before I go way out. And since then, I still make other stuff. And I think where I do like bits of production and like I've done a couple of like library things and stuff like that, and it's kind of just kept my interest as an artist in one place.
Yeah.
Which is really nice.
Mm.
And I think that's what I needed. I need constant little things that I can like go off and I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
I've got a really good idea for this.
Yeah.
You know, like some days I wake up and I just want to make like grimy R&B-ish, hip-hoppy kind of stuff and just load up an 808 and just mess with that and pretend like I'm making like a fucking Drake song or something. And the day after, I'll load up a funky drum break and that'll be that. And then the day after that, I'll load up a synth and just go dum 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 all day long. But I think I could go on and do that, but essentially that's what I like to do. But it doesn't mean that everything I do should come out, or at least come out under the name Breakage randomly.
Yeah.
Like, it needs focus. Like,
yeah,
I'm
people
terrible
do
with focus, but it needs to at least look like there's focus overall. So
people like to know what to expect, and it's
yeah. I like to expect the unexpected, but at the same time, saying that, when I hear, I'm the person making it. When I hear like a producer or a band that I like go totally off, like,
like,
I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. Oh, what's this new MJ Cole record? It's techno. What's he doing?
Yeah.
No, stop! Just do it under a different name.
Why?
Yeah.
Like, so I do understand it, and I think it took me a long time of being like, I'm just gonna do this now. Oh, I'm just gonna do that. You know. So like, if I had to, what's the one that I really love making and listening to and playing, and it's that.
Yeah.
It's not to say that I might not do like a couple of 140 bits at some point. I have been hearing a couple of, and also you know what it is. I need that, like, not even competition, but I find that I work a lot better when there's other people making stuff that I like. And at the moment, there's like people where I'm like, ooh, you made a good tune, didn't you? Might not even be the same kind of style as me in general, but it's like, oh, that's a good tune. Yeah, that's the point. Maybe I should make a good tune. Yeah.
Who's doing it for you at the moment?
There's a few people. Like, I really like the new Spectre Soul stuff.
Good boys.
Very good boys. Like, they've got this like harder edge now than they did before.
Oh, really? I haven't heard anything of those recently.
They did a few EPs. They did an album, and the EPs especially, there was always like a couple of bits. So it's like, oh, it's a lot harder than usual. So I appreciate it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, even if I couldn't play it, I was like, this is, like, let's see what's going on here. Like, do you know what I mean? Skeptical, really like Skeptical.
Yeah.
I think he's got the right thing of, what I like about him is his tunes are nothing like mine, but they remind me of my tunes so much, on the fact where it's like, in a riff, there's, you know, sometimes it might only be one note of bass, and, you know, like, it's just about groove. And he gets really nice grooves, and they're so simple, but at the same time, you listen to the detail. You're like, this isn't just you've done like a loop and went like that. It's like the layers to this are just brilliant. We'll sit there and talk about that sort of stuff. A lot of him. It's like just literally just like, how did you do this and the other? And he's like, oh, it's, you know, blah, blah. And we'll just get into little tangents after a few beers.
Yeah.
Who else? Alex Perez.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I'd have to like look through my phone. I'm trying to think who I'm playing tunes by at the moment. Shy's new stuff's really good.
I haven't heard any of his new stuff.
He
Really,
just
what
had
sort of?
something. He just put something out a couple of days ago with Maverick Sabre.
Okay.
It's just that thing. He's that guy, and he goes quiet.
Yeah.
And, he just
And then you
comes
come out
back
and you go,
ooh.
Yeah.
Hello.
yeah.
And it's one of those tunes. It's you know, Die Hard drum basses might be like, oh, you know.
There's a new Bad Company album.
Yes.
Have you listened to any of it?
I've heard a couple of singles. There's a couple I really like, couple not for me.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to the whole thing.
Yeah.
There was a track called Tetris that I really liked.
Oh, I've heard that.
I text Debridge. I was like, I really like the hi-hat pattern that comes in. You fucking nerd. But it's just a really good. It's a really interesting tune because it's got like this old soul sample, like you know, like quite happy, like. And then, but then you get this like really chunky 303 sort of acid bass line.
Right.
And then just really distorted, just like, step over it. And that's it. And it's just like, but it sounds great. And it's like, it sounds like that really sort of like, this could easily be a techno tune, but it's definitely not a techno tune.
Right, okay.
It's just, and then this sample over the top is just does not correlate with the rest of the tune, but works so well.
Right.
And I was like, that's actually
Bit of Daybridge magic.
Yeah. I don't know whose magic it is, but it's Bad Company magic.
Yeah.
Only Bad Company could take two things like that and make it work. But I haven't heard much of it. I've heard the Killbox album.
Oh, I've not listened to that yet. Man, their stuff is
like
just next level.
Audio as an engineer, I think is brilliant.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant. I think you know, like, is I think a lot of it, again, is too hard for me. But like, I just listen to it. I'm like, wow, like, that's a guy that definitely knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I heard this, and there was a couple of bits that sounded like, like without that like cliche kind of thing of like, let's sound like old Ed Russian Optical. Well, essentially, you got half of Ed Russian Optical in the studio doing it. So, but then, or like there was one that reminded me a bit of like Bad Company around the first album, where they would have like a couple of like more like breaksy sort of things, but with this like really hard bass. What was the tune I'm thinking of on Bad Company album? I think it's Silicone Dawn or something. But it's like quite beatsy, and like, you know, but it still has that like and there's a couple of bits like that, and then I was just like, someone's actually done it really well for the first time in ages. And yeah, I just thought it just sounded overall it's the return of that. Here's some like aggressive like not necessarily even the most aggressive sounds, but like here's actual aggressive music without going over the top, where it's just like the mood is fuck you.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean every sound has to
Yeah.
go like, ah!
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You know, and there's nothing worse than when, you know, like all the sounds go ah, and it's playing the cheesiest fucking riff.
Yeah.
Like, why? You know, like it's you know, like I would place the Killbox album closer to, like, not to say it sounds sonically anything like it, but in a sort of like how I imagine like a world of a mixture between hair metal and like clean pop punk. They've just came in and been Pantera.
Right, okay, yeah.
And you're like, yes! Excellent.
Yeah.
That's exactly what, you know, like, that is what I wanted to hear, is like this kind of like, it sounds great, but it's not, it still sounds raw as fuck.
Yeah.
And they've just got
it's
that.
Man music, big man, real man music.
Yeah, it's just like, if you're going to be the aggressive guy,
in
like, who's like listening to drum bass in a mosh pit and all that and pushing people about and like, testosterone, like, take my top off. That's what you do it to. You don't do it to the one where it's got like the big massive sound, but then is playing something in the key of A major. No. No. That stuff just never ever flied for me. Like cheesy riff with an aggressive sound does not make that cheesy riff any less cheesy.
Yeah.
If it makes it worse.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to cover up how unhard it is. If you want to be hard, be hard. I don't want. I'm not the guy of like making like overly aggressive tunes. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they turn out well fucking moody.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't. I don't go out of my way to try and make it appear that way. With the Killbox album, you can just hear it's like this is just naturally aggressive.
Yeah.
It's like
this is just how it
job
came
well
out.
done.
Yeah, you know, this is
job well done.
We sat down and made some tunes, and this is how they've come out. And they're pretty narky.
It's not Sunday morning listening.
No, yeah. Well, I said they make like, you know, they're both very like their DJ style as well. Like particularly, I mean, Ben is I've seen Ben DJ a lot more than I've seen Gareth DJ. He's a great DJ.
He is.
Like he's really, really good.
He is.
Not saying Gareth isn't.
No,
Gareth is also, but like, you know, Ben's really good.
Yeah.
And he's got got quite an aggressive style of mixing. And so the tunes, you know, fit perfectly with that.
Yeah. It's you know, it's that thing, isn't it? It's you got to look at it this way, like people like Ed Rush and Optical came from like no U-turn.
Yeah. Like
still to this day, like it doesn't matter how aggressive you make your sound. No U-turn was more aggressive than anything. Like, that was like the start of just like, right, this is going to be like whatever like 7 steps beyond boisterous is. This is it.
Cantankerous.
Like, yeah. It was just like you listen to it and it was just fucking rough. Like, do you know what I mean? Where it's like I remember like hearing it and being like, it was just like, wow, like I didn't know you could make dance music like.
Yeah, that was it. There was so much magic in like hearing stuff and being like, oh, that's possible.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think I think this is the closest thing to capture that, and like early like when you first heard Band Company, you were like, oh,
they're doing it like that.
That's
yikes.
That's hard as a fucking now, isn't it?
Okay,
and like,
yeah.
It's not often that you get someone that does that, and I found that they did it, and it is effortless. There was no like, let's go in and try and make it sound like this.
Yeah.
You know, like you get a lot of people that still go in and be like, let's make something that sounds like Virus, and ultimately it never sounds like Virus. You know, but you can hear that they want to. And with this, it was just like, let's just go in and make some tunes and.
I love the sort of, that's that sort of sci-fi kind of sound. I mean, you know, the virusy sound or the early Ram.
Yeah.
Sound.
I thought it was just like that kind of sound, because I thought what was really cool about it is you had like all these synths and like these, you know, crazy mental mind-bending like, you know, bass lines and all that, but then was keeping it in that sort of thing of like it still had funk to it. Like they were still using like a skull snaps break or whatever to to keep the tune going, or like a worm break was a big one. Like, and it's like, so it still gave it like this funk and soul, and it wasn't just. I don't know. It just felt different. Yeah. You know, like I feel like if you have that counterbalancing your really aggressive bass line, you can get away with it.
But that's what kept it humanized rather than just sounding like music made by machines for machines.
Yeah. But you know, at the same time, you can say like music made on machines for machines.
Scott's Place.
Yeah. Kraftwerk.
Yeah.
Like Daft Punk, but even Daft Punk essentially still sampled. But
yeah, and they had a lot of funk in, you know.
The Kraftwerk somehow so unfunky that it's funky.
Yeah, that's quite a challenge,
like,
isn't it?
You listen to it, it literally just sounds like robots.
Yeah,
you forget the actual people made it, but it's still great.
How did you find like making your sample pack? How did you find like the notion of making stuff that you knew other people would be using?
I didn't.
You didn't think about it like that?
I just I'd wake up and be like, right, let me just make a drum beat. And I'd just do that and then be like, I could put that in a tune, I could. And let me bounce it and let me make another one. And just like with the construction packs, I didn't enjoy making construction packs.
Right.
That was really difficult.
Basically making mini tunes.
Yeah. You're like, right, I've got to make a tune that's good enough. But then I'm not going to put it out. And I'm not going to arrange it. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. But it's got to be enough to be able to do that.
Yeah.
That was just...
Hey, well, that's how you know you're making a good sample pack, though, if you're actually annoyed that you're
I always say that
not
about
being,
albums.
like, mate, if you're not making it into a full record.
Like it's very similar to, like, I always find with an album, when you're sick of the album that you're working on, you're almost finished.
Right, yeah.
And I felt like that when I was doing the construction packs for the last bit.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was just like, right, I just got to do this. So I was just making tune after tune, like, no, it just sounds like, like there's nothing worse than when, as someone who, I buy sample packs a lot, and you listen to the demos, and you're like, there's good sounds in it, but it's a shit tune. Like, don't like a tune. And, like, the producer or whatever, or you're familiar with the work of the people, and you're like, you would never let these sounds or, like, this loop or whatever into one of your tunes. Why is it in the sample pack? So I just didn't want to put stuff on there that I didn't feel wasn't worked on enough to where, like, where I'd just be like, like...
No filler.
Yeah, like, it's kind of half... all right, like about drum beats, so I'll just throw it on there. I just wanted, like, no, I want to make, like, and a lot of my mates were like, you don't want to make it too good.
But there's a thing that, so they're gonna steal your sound.
But, like,
no, they're not.
Like, and I had this discussion a lot of, like, they're gonna steal your sound. I was like, yeah, but you can give me all the tools to your tune, I still can't make it because I ain't you.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what, like. Yeah, you can have your drum beat and it comes from mine and from my sample library, so it sounds like one of my drum beats. But you could pair that up with something else totally different.
Yeah.
And you could do this and you could do that. And even then, even if you use all sounds from my sample pack, it's still not necessarily going to sound like me.
I could sit on your computer and make a record and it not sound. And
exactly,
even if I tried to make a track
mate,
that sounded like you, I couldn't.
I actually gave the pack to my friend before it came out, and a couple of months later, he was like, "What are you doing this weekend?" I was like, "I'm playing it. I think it was like fucking Fire or something." He's like, "Oh, I got a tune for you. Hold up." I sent you this tune, and I was like, fuck, this sounds great, mate. Sounds really good. I was like, seriously, like, you've stepped your shit up, because he's one of those guys, like, the vibe's great, and so I rarely play his stuff because, it sounds good by itself, but then it gets swallowed up. So I was like, ooh, hello. I was like, yeah, I really like this. Really like this. I'm gonna play this. He's like, yeah. Turns out, he was like, yeah, you should think it sounds good because it's all your sounds. I was like, what? So how did you get my sounds? He's like, sample library. And I didn't even clock it. So, like...
Well, there you go. Pro tip for people: if you want to get Breakage to play a track,
but yeah, just use all my sounds. No, but like, like I wanted to make... I don't even think I actually achieved what I wanted, because what I wanted to do was have that thing where, like, I remember when I started out, like, Here Come the Drums and the first EP and, like, years worth of stuff came from one sample CD, like, all the drums, which was the Total Drum Bass 0G.
Yeah, that was the...
like,
there was the Mark IV Heroes did one.
Yeah, Plant Drum Bass.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gave me, luckily.
Man, that had...
and,
that had digital, like, deadline.
It had there's so many bits on there.
Yeah.
But, like, before that even, like, I had Total Drum Bass, and that was my only thing for, like, breaks. I didn't really understand that breaks were these things that, like, I was 18, I didn't have bloody clue. It was like, oh, there's this tune recorded in the 60s, and then what we've done is we've processed it and sped it up to what you hear now. I just knew that this is where all these drums come from, and they all sound really good. And like even now, I'll still like occasionally be like, oh, let me just flick through it and see what I can find. I wanted to make that where it's like, you know, like where you had that and you had what was the other really big one? Jungle Warfare.
Oh yeah.
And it was
course,
just like
yeah.
that's where you get your stuff from. That's like, and that to me, like even like I'm pretty nerdy when it comes to picking up like, oh, you've taken that from this. You've taken it from this tune or this sample pack. Yeah, that's really nerdy actually saying that out loud. But I like that thing of being able to hear it, but like you can hear when those came along, how many people actually came through using them. Because it was like, oh, this is a new tool and it sounds really good. And I really wanted to get that kind of thing of like, these are really usable. Like you can actually really use them. Yeah. And not just go like, oh, this is good for making this and the other. It's like, take them, do what you want with them. And hopefully I've made them flexible enough to where they can find themselves a million miles from where I probably thought someone would use it. Like I've been caught out a couple of times already with people using drums that I've had in there, like even tunes that I've like helped like with mates and stuff like that. I'm like, where'd you get a drum bit? Like, and every time I'm just chuffed because I'm like, I've done a good job. Yeah, actually done an all right job. But yeah, going back to the construction packs, hated it. Hated it.
You should though. That's how you know they're good. I swear. Like if you're like, oh yeah, that's easy, but then you're not. Yeah, because it's
yeah. If I made them all in a day, that'd probably be crap.
Yeah,
but I just sat there and it's like it has to be good enough for people to want to use it. Yeah. Because if not, what am I doing it for? Like you know, like I'm gonna put it out. It's not gonna sell because people are gonna be like, "What the fuck is this? This isn't as good as his tune. It's nowhere near. It's not even close to track 7 on an album. Like, do you know what I mean? This is not even filler. This is just shit." And I don't know. I just think something like that is like, if someone can hear like one of those construction packs and be like, that's the sound that I've been looking for, sick. But I've done it. It's like, I'm chuffed. Yeah. I'm chuffed at that. Like, yeah. If I hear someone using even like a fucking sound effect, I'm like, I made that sound effect, and you thought it was good. Yeah, it was good enough to. It's not even a whole tune. It's one sound, but you actually thought like, you've made that sound really well, James. Yeah. Well done. Good boy. Well done. Now I'm going to take it. I'm going to put it in my tune. Yeah. It's like sick. Yeah. It's very weird hearing your stuff, hearing another tune and going, oh, I made that bit of that thing. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. It's brilliant. Like I put it up there with like, you know, like when, like say like one of my mates' tunes comes out and I helped him like with like some form of a mix or something, or like, you know, like, or just being like, oh, how about like you try doing this, and then they do it and it works, and I just go like, yeah. That's I have valid opinions in other people's music. Now, how do I apply those valid opinions to mine? Well, that's the question. Yeah, I don't know. I think sometimes your own opinion is the best and worst opinion when it comes to making your own records. Yeah. Like you can be your own worst enemy and your own best friend. Yeah, I don't know how much you were eavesdropping on the walk to here when I met you, but I was actually on the phone to my mate Dean. Right. I was just like, just sent you like some new tunes. Could you have a listen to it? Let me know what you think. Okay. And it like, you know, like it's like usually he's like, okay, yeah, I'll check them. I'm like, yeah, but actually just tell me if they're any good as well. Like, not just like, are they mixed well? Like, are they good? Are they good tunes? Are they good art? Yeah, like, and I just said, like, I'd do that all day long. Yeah. Just, like, come up with an idea, get really excited, send it to a mate too early. I'm like, it's not finished yet, but like, just listen to it. Is that a good idea? Is that a good idea? Like, because I find as I get older, I'm a lot more conscious of like what I want to put out there. Whereas 15 years ago, I just wanted to make fucking tunes. Just want to make some tunes, mate, and put them out. Sick. Yeah. So I'll just put out everything. I didn't really think like this tune's gonna come back to haunt me in 15 years. I'm gonna hear it. I'm just gonna like want to crawl up in the corner of a club and die. Yeah, but you know, you didn't make the dubstep tune with the cats in it, so you know, don't worry yourself too much. You know, people are gonna. Oh, No, I made Stagger Dub, which is probably far worse. I cannot stand it. Cannot stand it. Arguably one of my biggest selling jungle tunes.
Really? What do you think has been your biggest tune? Hard?
I'm not sure. Maybe.
No.
In terms of like lastability, definitely. Like that tune still gets played places, and like it surprises me. I was with those guys the other day, and Rodigan did his Royal Festival Hall thingy. I had a whole fucking orchestra playing it.
Really?
People are raving in the crowd. I'm just like, shit. This is mad. Like, Newham Generals came out and did it. I'm just standing at the side of the stage. And I'm like, that's mental. Maybe it's changed, it's got to be about 10 years ago now.
Damn. Yeah, it's almost 10, yeah.
Yeah, so if it came out almost 10 years ago.
So, yeah.
Yeah, like, and I just standing there staring, and it's like, every time it gets played, like, if I'm not playing it and it gets played, even, I just sort of stand there, I'm like, mad. Mental. Absolutely mental. I went through this period where I was just sick of it.
You come back around now,
because because it was just like, I remember 10 round shy and being like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to hear it forever, aren't I?
Yep.
He's like, yep. He's like, you ain't even got 10 years on it yet. He's like, how many times do you think I've played the original Nutter?
Yeah.
And he's like, you'll go through this and then you'll learn to appreciate it again.
Yeah.
And now I listen to it, I'm like, I can appreciate this. Like that whole thing of like, you know, like you make a tune, you listen to it countless times when you're making it. Then you promo it and you do it countless times then. Yeah. And then you're lucky enough for this tune to do well, and then you get to play it after it comes out. And then you've made like a lot of music afterwards and people still want to hear that one, and you're like, but I've got all this new music.
What about the new stuff?
Check this one, I prefer it. Yeah, no, but it's not that. Yeah. And then that's when you start to get annoyed. I took it really personally. Like, yeah,
I really like my new stuff.
I don't want to play, you know, like proper, like almost like not having tantrums, but in my head, like kicking my feet on the floor. I want to play hard. And then I was just like, I think it took me not playing it and someone else playing it and seeing what happens. I was like, it's pretty amazing. So, because you just go around DJing your own tunes, and I'm not that guy. I don't stand up on like the decks. I don't do hand hearts. I don't. My thing is just get in there, make as little eye contact with the crowd as possible, make sure nobody leaves, and just concentrate on not being shit.
Yeah, that's a good thing to concentrate on. Like,
and I'm fully focused. People look like, oh, yeah, you look like you're having a shit time most of the time. No, I'm just thinking, how am I going to get to this tune that I want to play? How am I going to get to that tune? If I play hard, what am I going to play before it? What am I going to play after it? What about if it doesn't work this time? And so you don't really, you just get in this thing of like, oh, this tune playing all the time. And you're not really, I don't know what it is, but like there's this thing about playing, and I just look at it, and I feel like everyone's just standing still for an hour. I don't know whether it's like the amount of like energy coursing through me, like, okay, like I'm doing this, there's people watching me, and everything to me is just moving really fast. So then people are just moving at a normal pace, and I don't know what it is.
Like in Futurama when Fry drinks all those coffees and sort of goes into the future.
Yeah,
everything else is really slow.
Yeah, and that's how it feels when I'm DJing. So I don't really notice like a tune outperforming another tune. I have to ask a mate or ask the MC or ask ask someone, because I'm way too focused on, like, where's this tune that I made? What did I call it? Like, where's this? Where's that? Like, how am I going to make these two tunes work? And obviously if I look at someone, all the cool guy stuff's going to go out the window. Yeah, I'll occasionally have a little like let loose and dance, but it's very occasional. Yeah. And then I snap back into like, oh, you just made yourself look dumb. I'll just worry about all this other stuff. And then, so yeah, like you play a tune like that all the time. You don't really notice the response, and you're like, why am I playing it? But if I don't play it, people seem to like go like, oh, you didn't play this, so I have to play it.
It becomes the thing.
And then I was at SW4 and someone played it. I was like, people still really like this tune. And then it made me like the tune again. Because I was like, just like, yeah, I made this ages ago. And people like it enough, but they still want to hear it. It's like, yeah.
It was very much like it was...
but Staggered Dub, I've never had that. I've never played it. Never played it out. Never played it out in a club, the original. I played the Sam Binga remix.
Right.
Because I like that. Yeah. Don't like the original. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to be...
Were you liking it when you made it?
I thought it was fun.
Right.
And that's essentially, I suppose, why people like it, because it's fun.
Yeah.
But I was just like, like, especially at the time, I was like, for the most part, apart from that, I was like serious dub jungle guy. So then to have it just didn't really suit what I was doing. Yeah. But I made it and someone wanted it, so that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
And it did really well, and I'm very thankful for that. But I don't like it, and like now I have this thing where it's like I want to like everything, like at least be able to tolerate everything that I put out. Not to say that I can't tolerate it, but like it's like I want to like I'm never gonna be happy 100% with something that I make. Like, but I know I can get to a place where I'm like, I'm proud of that one, and I want to be proud of everything that I make now. I don't want to have that tune where it's like,
or putting something out I haven't released anything in a while.
Yeah, better just put this out.
Just get it out. And
what's laying about? Yeah, that'll do. Like, I don't want that. I want, I'm getting too old, and I just think it's too short to be putting out tunes that I don't really feel anything about. I want to be able to feel a certain way about it, whether it is like like a tune that's quite fun and I like it for its fun factor, or a tune that's quite deep. I think either way it needs to be something where it's like I can just really stand by it and get behind it, and it's not not have a tune where, or try not to have a tune where I just don't play it. And I think that's a good thing about starting my own thing is that although I had that freedom at Digital Soundboy as well, is like now it's like it's almost like starting again. Like it's like
a bit of a fresh slate.
Yeah.
It's important.
It's like it's really nice to have that. And I'm just like literally just take my time. Yeah. Leisurely.
Yeah.
Which is good because it takes me bloody ages to make a tune nowadays.
It's just you're processing the same break 3 or 4 times for no good reason.
It pretty much is. It's just I've got into this habit of like I'll make the tune and I'll be like, that sounds good, and then I'll bounce it all out as audio files and I'll work on it more, and I'm like, that sounds cool, and I'll a couple of days pass and I'm like, don't like it, starting again, and I'll remake it from scratch.
Jesus.
I've always done it, so now it's just become a standard thing. Like, right, here's a good version of it. Now let's do the proper version of it.
Oh my God, it's doing drafts effectively.
Yeah, do a whole draft of a tune, and then be like, right, now let's actually do it the way it should be done. Like rather than going back, like I think it's a thing. It's this thing of like I could stay in the same file and then go back and like let me tighten up, break a bit better. Let me do this a bit better. But it just feels messy,
right?
To me, I'd rather just start again and get it right the first time. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, right, let me do it now when it's important to do it, not go back. Like 2 days ago to 2 days. It just sounds messy to me. I'd rather have it done and ready and just there. it's really So it takes me a while.
I don't know if I've got I would have the patience to.
I love it because it's like what I love about it is like it's like I can still just come up with a tune and have fun. Like I got a bit of equipment back that I lent to a mate for years. the Thermionic Culture Rooster, which is like a dual preamp,
Right.
and it's got like attitude. It's
Yeah.
basically like cheap saturation.
Yeah.
And I plugged it all in. I was like, amazing. What am I going to put for it first? Put brake for it. Just remind myself how it sounds. And I didn't buy it to put drum beats for it. I bought it because I needed a mic pre. But no, you get the Apollo stuff. It's got a mic pre built in. It sounds nice. Bob's your uncle. So I thought, I'm going to run brake for it, see how that works. So I ran a Soul Pride through. I didn't even bother to like pitch it up. I just used the Logic Vari Speed thing. Got it to like 170-ish. It's like loose as hell. I just looped like one bar of it. I just like, yeah, it all still works. And I was like, just put some saturation. Yeah, that sounds great. I was like, ooh, sounds all right. And I'll just quickly put a bass sound in. Just one note. Just go blah, 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 like that. Before I knew it, I was there for like 10 minutes or something. Ooh. Found like one sample, put it in. And it's like, it's all loose as fuck. And I was like, on vari speed. So it's not even playing, like it's still playing original tempo. Got no idea about what key it's in or anything like that.
Yeah.
Just throwing shit at it. And I make this tune with like 3 sounds. And it's just literally like drum beat, bass line, little sample, bass line, bass line. And then every like 16 bars, the little like vocal sample just comes in. And I was listening to that for most of the fucking day. Just vibing out. And then I was like, right, that's been fun. This is a good one. I'm going to make this into a tune. And so, put some chord progressions in. I was like, all super slapdash. Sounds great. Now let me bounce that. Let me save it as a separate file. Now let me rectify the whole Soul Pride. Sit there for like a good hour or so, cutting up all the individual hits. Now I'm going to put that into Contact. I'm going to reprogram it all in there. I'm going to take the same bar that I had, and it's all going to be nice and tight. And I'm going to make sure it's super tight. EQ'd nicely, all of that. I'm not even going to run it through the rooster yet. I'm just going to make sure everything's in order, and it's boring. It's really, really, really fucking boring. But I know when it's finished, it's going to sound like a better version of a tune that I thought was fun.
Yeah.
And no one hears all this boring shit.
No.
You just hear like, ooh, really simple tune, but I like it.
So it's like someone making a low-res version of it to start off with. And
it's a thumbnail.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then here's a panorama shot.
Right.
It's tedious as fuck.
Yeah.
And I will sit there just like talking to myself all day. It's really annoying to the missus if I'm on the laptop just talking to myself with headphones on. Now you are just going to go over here. Oh, you fucking bastard. Oh, James, you prick. She's like, but then I'll just say stuff and I'll be like, ooh. And she's like, what? I'm like, oh, no, I just did something a bit weird, but I kind of like it. Like, literally, I'll just talk to myself all day and just get the boring stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
And it's all boring. But then, because you're essentially just tracing it, but better.
Yeah.
That's all you're doing is just like getting a more high definition version of what you've already got.
So do you go between projects, back and forward, listening to the old one, getting it, or do you put
a bounce
and
up the top
it?
And just solo it every now and again? Be like, okay, cool, that's where I was. Cool. And I pretty much know the way they work anyway because I've listened to it on loop so much.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll try out like different things, like maybe change the groove a bit and all of this and all of that. And then I'll get to the end of that and then I'll bounce it all as audio. And then I'll just arrange it all over again. And then every time the arrangement just gets a bit more cohesive and a bit more like, just like, I'm going to add this now and do this now. And there's one thing that I love about working in audio is you can just go, and the reverb's just going to cut there.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Like, when bar number 1 hits, I don't want any bleed from anything. It's just going to go, bang, and that's it. And that's when I feel like the tune really takes shape for me.
Right.
everything up until that point is like, you know, get the groove, lots of fun, rough arrangement, lots of fun. Getting it, all the parts on point and getting like, you know, like programming the synth how I actually want it, or like a better version of a preset that I've used, or, you know, like choosing a better reverb. Boring. But then once that's done and all the noodly little bits are done, and it comes to like, right now, let me mix the drum bass properly, and let me put out equilibrium and like put some saturation on it from the Rooster and fucking run it into this. Then I'm like, this is a lot of fun, because then you listen back to the demo and you go, I thought that sounded good as well. Oh, fuck me. Like, I remember when I made Fighting Fire, I was all excited about playing it. I was so excited about like making the tune that Jess, who sings on it, she came over to record, and it was like Friday morning. I was like pumped. She was like, sounded great. And then my mate calls me. I think it was SP actually. He's like, "What time are you turning up?" I was like, "To where?" He's like, "Festival." He's like, "I'm not playing till tomorrow." He's like, "No, you are. You're playing today." And so I was like, "Oh shit!" So I quickly got all my stuff together. Luckily, like the studio's at Waterloo, and the whole way there, I was like working on this tune. I was like, "I'm gonna play it tonight. I'm gonna play it tonight. It's gonna sound sick." Ended up missing my set. Ended up staying overnight because I was then stranded because they couldn't find me another set to play. And it turned out, just so everyone knows, it's not because I'm a stupid fucker. Turns out there was an error with the date on my details. So then I thought I was playing.
Yeah.
And like, it was just like one of those shit happens kind of things. And I found that demo the other day of where I was getting all excited. Like, I'm going to play this festival. People are going to lose their shit. It sounded fucking awful.
Really?
Awful. But it was just like that thing of like...
Yeah, well, you more like you're actually envisioning what it's going to sound like when it's finished. Like that sort of excitement.
At that moment, it's the best that tune has ever sounded.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, of course. Yeah.
So you're not thinking anything apart from, this sounds great compared to where I started like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And then you hear the finished version and you're like, ooh, I dodged that bullet of what we were chatting about earlier of like playing the tune, and everyone goes, like,
oh yeah, it could have really put you off it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's just like, oh, this tune don't work.
Yeah.
And it's you know, I just don't want that. So I sit there and I work on it and I have a long-winded way of doing it, but
it works.
I think it is literally just like, that's what works for me.
Yeah. And
I could probably do it a faster way, but
wouldn't be the right way. Ultimately,
it'd probably sound different for it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would sound better or worse, but it's just why I do it.
Yeah.
You know, like you probably do stuff that I'd find really, really odd.
Yeah, I would imagine the majority of the cack-handed way that I make music would be.
Yeah, and same here.
Yeah.
Like some of us go around and then someone just goes, "Oh, you know what you're doing is just you could just do that."
No, don't get off.
Yeah,
don't stop touching it.
That's why I don't work with other people.
Same.
Like I work with other people if it's like I'm helping them do something, or I'm adding something to your work. I can't do oh, let's get in the studio and make a tune together. I can't. I get this thing where I'm just like, just staring into the back of my head like, you're fucking doing it wrong. You're not doing it the way that I do it. I don't like it. I don't like it. How's it sound? Sounds good, mate. Like I cannot deal with it. I can't deal with not being on the computer for ages. I feel like I'm not doing enough. So I could do this bit better than you can. And then you're watching them and you're like, I'm gonna have to undo all of this.
Or they're going through kick drums or something and like, no, go faster, not that fast. No,
like, why not just do it this way? Yeah,
play that one more. That last one. No.
It's like, you're not doing exactly what I'm thinking right now.
Why are you reading my mind?
Yeah. It does my head in. And that's hilarious. Or like when you do something you think it's really cool and the other person's like,
Don't you me? No.
Like, you're saying, now, I just spent half a fucking hour on this, mate. It's going in fucking tune.
That's it.
I just can't. I can't deal with it. It's too much stress. Like I know what I want and what I don't want.
Yeah.
And I know that if I can't do it,
it's not worth doing.
Well, no. Like it's like I feel no shame to like call up a mate. Like, how do you do this? Or like, can you do this for me? Like, you know, it's a sense of community. One day you're gonna be like, you know what? How do I make my bass louder? I'll send it over to me. I'll turn it up.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. You just put everything in the red. Yep.
And that's how you do it.
That's the magic. That's how the sausage gets made.
Yeah. That's the sausage
the secret.
You know, like I think, especially like the term producer, like you know when people go like, "Oh my god, you have an engineer." Yeah, because he's an engineer and I'm a producer. You know, Quincy Jones didn't sit there and mix down the albums himself because he wasn't the engineer. He didn't go around micing up drum kits. You know, he didn't play every fucking instrument. Yeah. Like what a producer is now and what traditionally is an engineer are vastly fucking different.
Yeah.
You know, I heard a thing about like Pete Waterman. And sorry, Pete, if I've got this wrong. But I've heard that sometimes all he used to do on a tune is just walk in when they were making it and being like, don't sound right. Get rid of that. Move up there. Put that there. Add a little bit there. And change that. And that was it. But everyone knows who I'm talking about when I say Pete Waterman. He's a producer. Yeah. And then he'll just be back off on his way. Yeah. And the other two guys, W and L, might go like, what a fucking tosser. But it's like, no, he's the guy that's just made it a hit. Like, it's like, you know, not to say like, oh, I'm a producer, I make hits. But like, I think nowadays you're a producer, you're the musician, you're the front man,
you're the social media
and you're the mix
expert.
engineer, and you're the social media guy. Yeah, a lot of fucking hats. Yeah, and tour manager. Oh. Unless you are one of those lucky guys that gets to have a tour manager.
I don't know about lucky. Well, I guess for the company. Hey, look, we've nearly done 3 hours here.
Fuck me.
I know. So I think we're gonna have to wrap it up.
Oh, good.
My computer actually might run out of space on the video record. It's perfectly possible. Look, James, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right.
Take care.